The Monday night meltdown has begun with the pimps, the players, the hustlers, the people that bust them, and everybody else in between from Costa Rica, where we just were, to California, Montreal, and Minnesota. We pick up the pieces. Post Super Bowl 52 as the Philadelphia Eagles are your Super Bowl champions, and I believe the city of Philadelphia is still on fire. And we were on fire all weekend long in Costa Rica. First things first, I want to give a shout out to SBR. First class operation, man. It was a first class operation all weekend long. The betcast was a massive success. I see we have 69,000 views, which could be an SBR record, actually. I'm not going to lie. Donnie was hoping for 100,000. I thought it was a little ambitious, but nevertheless, checking in at 69K. I got a chance to look at the video a little bit just a couple of moments ago, and man, look great in that suite. Crystal clear. Great production. Great production by the SBR crew. So bravo. Shout out to the SBR crew. Shout out to Jimmy the Bag. Shout out to Low Shack. Shout out to Drew Martin. Tell you what, Matty Ice is an unsung hero and big-time star over at SBR. Does a lot of work behind the scenes. Doesn't get credit for. I don't want to forget anybody. We can't forget about Juan. And the lovely Sophie, Deb, Ariana, Zach. Zach was on fire, man. Zach got pretty messed up last night during the Super Bowl. And we pounded back quite a few cervezas last night as well. We had a 5 a.m. flight, guys, this morning. No, 5 a.m. pickup for a 9 a.m. flight. Yeah, whatever. It was like a 13, 14-hour extravaganza. And in typical Morency fashion, listen, I lost my bank card in Costa Rica, and, whatever, man. I didn't think it out properly, all right? So I got back to Toronto today. It was fucking cold, man. Like, really cold. Like, really cold if you're here every day, let alone you just got back from Costa Rica. I didn't have any winter gear. I thought I was going to take a taxi. I had $8. I had $8. Fuck, you can't go anywhere with $8 in this fucking city. Big traffic. So after 14 hours of travel, I had to walk in the freezing fucking cold, man, with like summer. I had this jacket on. It's fucking brutal. I just sort of pretended I was a football player. I was like, whatever, man. Weather is all mind over matter, fuck. But like, seriously, I get off a fucking plane from Costa Rica, and I'm walking down the street, downtown Toronto, in a fucking snowstorm, fucking freezing. It's fucking hell and shit. I get home. I don't have any internet. I don't have any cable. I have no bank card. I have no internet. I have no, I was like, God, this is just great. This is just great. I think they fucking changed my key card at the studio. We've left that building and shit. It's a unique situation. I still work for fantasy sports, yet I don't, we're out of this building. And I think I'm locked out and shit. It's crazy shit, man. But you guys know me. I was going to find a way one way or another. And instead of being able to kick back and relax, I've spent the last 2 hours trying to figure out how we're going to pull this show off. But we got our internet back. We got the cable back. Hey, we're good to go. We're good to go. We're back. And Dave Malinsky is back as well. Straight from the strip in Las Vegas, Nevada. Dave, always a pleasure, Dave.
Well, let's start out by setting a line tonight, because I saw the suite that you were in over the weekend. I saw some video of it. Now, you've just complained about how bad your day was. What we should do is put up a photo of that suite, complain about your day, and I'll put the over-under on how many people are sympathetic with you for having a bad day at about 1.5 of all the listeners out there. I mean, come on. For where you were for the last couple of days, if they rerouted you through Finland on the way home and you got back on Wednesday, you actually wouldn't have any right to complain. That was an awfully, awfully nice setup, because they didn't just put you up at a resort. They put you up at the best of that resort. Tell you the truth, Gabe, if I was running it, I would have probably had you a few floors lower, so.
We might have had the nicest suite in the entire country. It was that nice in a sense, as you stated. Crocs Hotel has been repeatedly voted the number one hotel casino in Costa Rica. And our place was so nice, it wasn't even part of the hotel, Dave. It was like some rich guy's penthouse suite. You know it's a nice place when it's $865 US a night, Dave, in Costa Rica.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm looking at that, and then I see the crew of people that are on the air, that crew doesn't deserve that sweep. I mean, I am now. You guys collectively do not deserve that sweep, but you know what? You pulled it off. You guys did some awfully good work, and boy, did you have one hell of a game to work through. Talk about your ideal setup.
You know what it was? I'm kind of jaded and I sort of, I don't know, Dave. Everything's all the same to me almost. So about halfway through the game, I was like, this game's pretty good, I guess, right? If you're an average guy, you're watching this, I'm sure you're thinking it's a good game. I'm like, yeah, whatever. It's another game, Super Bowl. But I tell you what, Dave, we had a very good game yesterday, Dave. I'm going to pull up Barry Horowitz right now. I gave 20 picks, Dave. I gave 20 picks and props in total. I did a video, and we won 15 of them. And including among the 15 of them, the Philadelphia Eagles on the money line, Nick Foles MVP, LeGarrette Blount to score a touchdown at plus 225, James White to score a touchdown at plus 190, Julian I keep calling him Edelman, Amendola to have 8 catches at plus 300, Dave. We talked about that prop builder, and it was 4.5 catches for Amendola. I'm like, he's going to have more than that. He's going to get to 8. And I didn't get greedy. I didn't go to 10. I stopped right at 8, and he landed right at 8, and I hit it at plus 300, Dave.
That makes for an awfully nice payday. And I tell you, it's been one of the dark stories from here in Las Vegas is the books got crushed pretty good on the Super Bowl props. Now, it turns out the state numbers are in. It was a slight gross profit. Nevada held 0.7% on the Super Bowl. They flat out got beat on the props this year. What we all hope is it doesn't make the books skittish next year, but they got beat pretty bad on those props. And I'm assuming offshores probably had to deal with similar things. If the guys were winning props here, they were probably winning props just about everywhere. So it's nice to have those 15 wins. I hope it doesn't become an issue when the next Super Bowl run comes around. I hope the books don't get a little gun shy.
They already jacked up a lot of the props as it was, Dave. The best time to bet props is earlier in the year. They really adjust them. And case in point is a long field goal prop, Dave. One of the props that I lost yesterday. During the regular season, Dave, the average long field goal prop in a football game is 44.5. You might have 43.5. You might have 44.5. 45.5s are rare. They get tired of losing. Around, week 7, week 8, they made everything 45.5. And then, from about week 12 out, Dave, even in bad weather, every long field goal prop was 46.5. Well, what happened yesterday in the Super Bowl, Dave? We had field goals of 43, 45, and motherfucking 46. Not 47. And it's funny, Dave, because everyone knows me as the long field goal prop guy. And people are like, Renzi, obviously we're doing a long field goal. And I warn people, I said, yeah, we're going to take it. But I said, the Super Bowl is different, man, especially with Belichick, and coaches go for it in the Super Bowl. They do, it's not by the book, Dave. And case in point, yesterday, there was an opportunity where we would have got the long field goal, but Belichick went for it and didn't get it.
A lot of interesting things happened through the course of that game. And what we're sitting and doing for one of the rare times is today is actually talking about Belichick a little bit, because one of the fascinating things I was looking into today, try to find the answers about that little issue of Malcolm Butler.
Yeah.
And it is amazing how tight-lipped Belichick and Matt Patricia. Now, we're going to run some quotes in the Tuesday edition of Point Blank. You can read that at sbrpicks.com. And they went out of their way to craft these real specific quotes to try to avoid the issue. But there's a guy who's on the field for 97% of your snaps during the regular season on defense, didn't play a single down the entire game as that defense was being routinely taken apart. Will we ever know just what it was? I mean, he got out there for special teams. But will we ever find out just what it was?
Well, there's late-breaking news, actually, Dave, but I can't confirm this. Barstool Sports, it's a reputable, I guess, depends for reputable. Reputable is that's a debatable word. But no, Barstool Sports, Dave's a real media source, and they're actually big Patriot guys. They're out of Boston. They're reporting that Malcolm Butler missed curfew, got arrested with marijuana. Not arrested, but basically had an incident with local police. They didn't arrest him, but he got into a local police, and he missed curfew, and then they report that he told the Patriots coaching staff to go fuck themselves, essentially, about it after. Now, I don't know. I don't know. This isn't confirmed. This just came out about an hour ago or so, but that's the word, that he missed the curfew. It turned out he had an incident with local police. He wasn't arrested, but there was something about weed. I don't know if he smoked somewhere or something. And then he got into it with the coaching staff. Barstool Sports is saying that a writer from Pro Football Focus, I know it's kind of long-winded, but a writer from Pro Football Focus, supposedly, I don't know, his relative or someone he's related to or something is a cop. And I guess the cop told him, yeah, Butler fucking was smoking weed. He didn't get busted, but he got into it with the coach. I don't know. So that's the story that just got out there right now, Dave.
Yeah, I see the New York Post is going to have something in tomorrow's edition.
Of the same vein?
Yeah. And it's talking about curfew and weed. But see, here's the difficulty in situations like this. I mean, when a player does something like that, you want to somehow punish the player, but instead you end up punishing the team.
Yeah, and you don't start the guy then, Dave, and then pull him, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the whole thing. I don't know. I mean, Butler's exact words were, they gave up on me. Fuck, it is what it is. That's all Butler said.
Well, and I'll tell you what else is going to be a whole lot of fun. And we talked about this on this show last week. We've written about it in Point Blank a lot. But yeah, I even put this on Twitter and early in the second quarter yesterday. Literally, who was sweating more as the game unfolded? People who had big bets on the Super Bowl or the Detroit Lions ownership?
Here, Dave, I tweeted this last night right after the game. Can they do what like happened with Shiano in Tennessee? You know what I mean? Let me ask you, Dave. Can you name me one New England Patriot assistant that's gone on to be a successful head coach?
Well, there have been none. Literally have been none. And to set this up for people who might be listening in for the first time, Matt Patricia was a defensive coordinator there for 6 years. Using the Football Outsiders defensive ratings, which I believe are by far the best out there, the best season the Patriots ever had under Patricia was at number 12. This year they were number 31. They were number 32 in yards per drive allowed. We talked about this with Ben McAdoo for several years. The Giants made him a head coach before he had ever proven that he could be an offensive coordinator. Matt Patricia statistically hasn't proven he could be a defensive coordinator yet.
How much credibility does he have walking in the room now, too, Dave? You know, your defense gets shredded. You're not Belichick. Like, is he going to come in here and drop a hammer, which he already has? He's already been in Detroit twice. I brought this up as far as a distraction. You know, he's letting coaches go. Jim Bob Cooter's staying. And does he come in like the big bully? Hey, I'm Matt Patricia from the New England Patriots. I mean, you and I we see through this. You don't think the Detroit Lions players see this through this thinking, who the fuck's this guy? We like Jim Caldwell.
Yeah, because part of the difficulty when you talk about the assistants not faring well, you want to look at coaches who prepare their assistants to be head coaches. Well, you don't get that under Bill Belichick. Belichick is the boss, in New England. So some of these authority things that coaches need to learn, if they're going to go out there and they're going to run the show, you just don't get the opportunities to do that very much. I thought the Lions actually overachieved, the last couple of years. It would be no surprise if you look at how much better Chicago can get. You see Aaron Rodgers, coming back for the Packers next year. Detroit's going to go from a team that had a winning record under Jim Caldwell. They went 36-28 over 4 years under Caldwell. They could be a last place team in that division next year. The same personnel could easily go 6-10 or maybe 5-11. This could be a real awkward couple of years in Detroit.
And somebody brought up Charlie Weiss at Notre Dame. He was a bust at Notre Dame. Charlie
Weiss was a bust everywhere.
Yeah, Romeo Crennel. guess Romeo might be the one that had like a bit, not really even success. Romeo Cornell, Josh McDaniels with a disaster. Dave, something correlate. I think you'll enjoy this analogy too. It's a hockey analogy, but do you know Scotty Bowman, Dave? You know the name Scotty Bowman?
Yes.
So Scotty Bowman, he's won like 12 Stanley Cups, okay? I think he's the greatest coach in any sports history, Dave. Why? Because he's won in different eras. He took the expansion St. Louis Blues in the 60s to the Stanley Cup, Dave. When Bobby Orr's flying through the air scoring a goal, Scotty Bowman was the coach of a fucking expansion team in a cup. Scotty Bowman won 5 Stanley Cups in the 70s with the Canadiens. He won in the 80s with the Penguins. He won in the 2000s, Dave, in the 90s, into the 2000s with the Red Wings. So I'm just talking about a dominant coach that adapted through generations. Yeah, he was very, very old school, Dave, and he's kind of an asshole. He might not respect you as a man the way that you would like. Like, he sort of looks at you as, do this and do what I tell you to do because I'm Scotty Bowman. But people they do it because he wins. So Pierre McGuire is an NBC hockey analyst, okay? He's a very good one. No one likes him. He's kind of annoying, but he's a very good analyst. So, Dave, he was an assistant coach with the Pittsburgh Penguins in like the early 90s with Scotty Bowman. He got the head coaching job of the Hartford Whalers. He lasted I don't even think he got through the year. And why didn't he get through the year? Because he had no experience as a head coach, Dave. His only experience as an assistant was for like 2 years, standing next to arguably the greatest coach of any sport of all time. Pierre McGuire spoke to the Hartford Whaler players in the same way Scotty Bowman spoke to players. He figured, and he's been a man about it and said, I made a big mistake. He goes, I figured I learned from the best, so I applied what I learned from Scotty Bowman. What I didn't know at the time was I'm not Scotty Bowman. And the players on the Hartford Whalers let me know that and said, who the fuck do you think you are? You're not Scotty Bowman just because you fucking stood next to him on a bench for a year, Pierre. And I wonder, that's when I think of Matt Patricia. Does he come in here like I'm some fucking hotshot that knows everything? When really, hey, you're just another fucking guy on the staff there, buddy.
Yeah, because it's going to be fascinating to see when we look back in retrospect at this cycle, because the one thing that we can't do, and it's the same now, of course, what we do is we crunch numbers, we analyze things. You can't separate Belichick from Brady. So we tend to love heroes, or let's say sports bettors, sports fans love heroes, so that the champions tend to get played up a little better than perhaps they really were. But, think about this. Belichick was supposed to be a defensive coach. That is what he hung his hat on. The last 10 years, even going back before Patricia got there, the last 10 years, the Patriot defense has not finished higher than number 12. Their average finish was number 19 over a 10-year period. And one of the things we wrote at Point Blank a couple of weeks ago, only 4 other franchises in the entire NFL didn't have at least one top 10 defensive finish over the last decade. So how do we perceive this? Yeah, I know that Tom Brady may be the best quarterback of all time. I think Bill Belichick is one of the best quarterbacks of all time. But I think sometimes the media pushes him out there maybe just a little bit too far, because that's what the media likes to do. They like to create the narrative of heroes. Bowman was one. I haven't seen too many heroic coaches. I've seen a lot of very good ones.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen heroes. Let me throw this out. This is actually pretty good now. This is coming from Browner, and you will see this in tomorrow's New York Post. But this is hitting the nail on the head. He's saying, for weed, for curfew, man, do your all history. Patriots are a team that give guys second chances. I know players that used to let their wives sleep in the bed with them on away games. I ain't going to say no names. Like every job, there's always favorites. And Lil Bro wasn't a favorite.
Yeah.
He was a favorite for us, for what he could do.
Who's saying this, Dave? Who? This quote?
This is, of course, Brandon Browner.
Wow.
who was standing right next to Butler, lined up on the play that beat Seattle, that final play in the Super Bowl going back 3 years ago. So he's saying that, yes, guys, this is the Patriots now. This is the team that bends over backwards to violate just about any rule if it's going to help you to win a game. And this is the one time.
Let's be real, Dave. A player smoking weed. I know it's not ideal a couple of nights before the Super Bowl, at least getting caught doing it. But, like, really, that's hardly, it's hardly fucking earth shattering. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But to not put him on the field at all.
All right, Dave, quickly on the Mavericks and the Clippers. Maybe a quick take on the in game, and let's continue some Super Bowl talk. Clippers laying 6, Dave. The new look Clippers, which, I was in Costa Rica last few days. I was in football mode, so I didn't get a chance to see the new look guys, but they got some talent back, Dave, and those guys. Bradley can play, man. Harris can play. I think the Clippers did a nice deal with that trade, Dave.
What they have that they didn't have before is a chemistry. They've got 5 guys on the court that want to win, but this front court now becomes real interesting because not only are you getting Bradley and Harris, you're getting Gallinari back. And he's only been back for 2 games now. But you see, they can do so many different things when he's on the court. So Doc Rivers is already excited about this thing. We're going to cause matchup problems for opposing teams. Look at the physical mismatches tonight. No Harrison Barnes for Dallas. So their front court, Matthews, Nowitzki, and Powell against Harris, Gallinari, and Jordan. Clippers are a lot more physical across the board in that front court. And again, the guy who's been underrated. Clippers have played very well when Teodosic has been out there. He's only played about half their games. If anyone wants to look at what Doc Rivers has been through, we listed it in today's point blank. 18 different players have started this year. That's the scramble that he's had to go through. DeAndre Jordan, the only one on the court tonight that started even half the games for them. But I think this team has a chemistry, and they're capable of playing okay together.
I don't want to put you in a spot here, but would it be Clippers? Dallas are kind of struggling. One thing with the Clippers, they beat bad teams, Dave. They do take care of business against teams that they should.
Yeah, they become a tough team to prepare for because Dallas doesn't have a lot of video, not a lot to look at it. Of course, what has made Dallas good is their depth. And now you're a little short. I guess J.J. Barea will play tonight, but he's not back to 100% yet. Losing Barnes kind of changes the rotation up a little bit. Clippers not the type of team I like laying points with, but I know I don't want Dallas here.
Yeah.
So no surprise if the Clippers are able to get the job done. Because not only do they have guys that will play well together, they've got guys with a pretty decent work ethic in that lineup right now. And if this lineup plays well, look at what you can do with the bench. And what Doc Rivers would love to do the most, unleash Lou Williams for 25 minutes a night and let Lou Williams take a shot per minute. And if this starting lineup plays the way they can, Williams can be who he is in the second quarter, end of the third quarter, early fourth quarter. There's some interesting dynamics here.
I just took the Clippers guys, little recreational player, keep it rolling. Had a nice night last night. I don't want to give it back though. I'm really going to be disciplined from here on out, guys. I'm not screwing around. But I do think the Clippers are going to play tonight. We probably sweat out the number a little bit, but the Clips should win this game by 9-10. One thing, we'll get back to football talk, but one thing about the Clippers, Dave, I like is it's just simple. They got guys that work hard. They got guys that try. You know what I mean? Bradley's an honest player. Harris is going to work his ass off. Gallinari's not Mr. Effort, but he's a good player.
No, don't be surprised with my Gallinari. Don't be surprised if he picks it up a little bit. But here's what really matters in terms of effort, because you're touching on a very important point here. I don't think Blake Griffin wanted to play the Warriors in the first round. Yeah, Blake's been around. Blake's a star. He doesn't want to get into the playoffs and get swept by Golden State because that's an ego blow. I think you've got a bunch of guys here who will just be happy to be in the playoffs. I think they will compete. They won't care if they're going to lose 4 straight to the Warriors. They'll go out and scrap. And I think you're going to see more out of Gallinari if he has a chance to be in the playoffs than in the past. Whereas if Blake Griffin was still there, no, Blake wanted no part of a Golden State or Houston first-round matchup because of the embarrassment that could turn out to be. And what we're doing is we're sort of elevating the Clippers on the assumption that New Orleans is going to fade badly without Boogie Cousins. They gave up 133 points to Utah tonight. That's why I'm sort of talking about the Clippers moving up, because I could see New Orleans falling out of a playoff spot.
West Virginia's up 53-47 right now, Dave. Really low scoring second half here after they dropped 90 on the scoreboard in the first. They've only scored 10 points combined, Dave, in the first 6 minutes of the second half. 53-47 Mountaineers right now with 13:50 left.
Yeah, even the first half was a little different tempo from these teams, but 11 out of 19 from three-point range put a little bit more on the scoreboard. What we're seeing Bob Huggins do is actually start to slow his team down a little bit. He's realizing they can't quite be press Virginia this year the way they are in the past. So he's starting to back off of his pressure. In fact, we're watching now. He's right now on an inbounds play after a free throw, not even pressing at all. So we're seeing Huggins change his tactics a little bit. Something we wrote about at today's Point Blank. He changed it up against Kansas State Saturday. He realized this particular group just doesn't press as well as their predecessors. Opponents had been turning the press against them instead of being intimidated by it. So a slightly different West Virginia team that we're going to see from here on out.
All right, Dave, our chat's blowing up, and I can't control what they talk about. But I want to get your take on it, actually, as well. Now, first things first about the city of Philadelphia winning. Winning seems to be contagious, Dave. It wouldn't surprise me if I've been thinking Villanova is going to win the March Madness tournament coming up, NCAA tournament. Really wouldn't shock me now if they go back-to-back and Philly wins another championship. But I got my eye on Virginia, Dave. Last week, Virginia were 25-1, down to 16-1 right now. I think Virginia is a very good bet. This team, to me, they seem a little bit different. They can score a bit, this Cavalier team. I've fallen for the Cavs before, and I know they hit the walls tough if you can't score in a tournament sometimes, even when you can play that defense. This Virginia team seems to be a little bit different to me, Dave, but Villanova seems like the team to beat. If you got to isolate, Duke are good. I'm not buying in the Sparty. I think this Izzo stuff and the controversy is going to catch up to them eventually here. If you're isolating a team, do you like who would you say now? Do you disagree with me in saying that Villanova is the team to beat, and do you agree with my Virginia being a legitimate contender?
I think Virginia might be the team to beat, and let's set this up because part of this setup will explain why Virginia has a chance. This is collectively the weakest top 10. When I do 1 through 10 on the power rankings, this is the weakest in at least a decade. I didn't go back any further than that. What has hurt Virginia in the past is you get deep into the tournament and you run into a team that has very good players. That team's not out there this year. Kentucky, the type of team you would hate to run into, Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final Four, Kentucky might not even make the tournament this year. If you look at the rest of their SEC schedule, they've got a lot of difficulties. Duke is not making progress. And the fact that Virginia was able to win at Duke, out-muscle the freshmen, out-scrap them. So the type of teams Virginia ran into in the past that caused them trouble won't be there. But they're also doing one thing differently. And we always talk about not making assumptions when teams change their patterns. It's not the Tony Bennett pack line defense anymore. He's extending that. Virginia has not finished in the top 100 in turnover percentage forced the last 6 years. They're top 20 this year. They're actually being more aggressive with that defense. That's what feeds the offense. And that's what Bennett realized he has to do. He says, you know what? I don't have the type of scorers Calipari has or Krzyzewski has. Let me ramp the defense up just a little bit more. Let's put ball pressure out there. Let's create some turnovers. Virginia's getting easier baskets this year. So when you see improvements by their offense, that's the defense generating a little more for their offense. So I've got them at the top right now. I think Villanova is going to get Phil Booth back healthy by tournament time, but they're missing him. But there just aren't these dynamite teams that are out there. We're used to thinking Kansas, Duke, all these teams with the one-and-done freshmen stepping up big. We don't see that happening. This is a much more wide-open field because there isn't a super team out there. I'll tell you the guy who's got to be the most concerned, though, and I'm going to write about him at length at Point Blank tomorrow. John Calipari's got a huge problem with this year's Kentucky team because this year's Kentucky team impacts who he can recruit next year. Calipari is so accustomed to this clean slate every year. Well, right now, the pro scouts aren't really clamoring over any of these kids. What does Calipari do if only one or two guys go pro? Because the reason the freshmen wanted to come to Kentucky, you're going to play right off the bat. If most of this year's freshmen stick around, guys are going to want to come to Kentucky next year if they know they got to fight for a spot.
Well, I'll tell you, Dave, I think the Kentucky fans are getting a little frustrated that Calipari almost sees his job as being an NBA farm system as opposed to winning championships. I mean, maybe Calipari's got to go back to trying to put a fucking team together instead of grabbing fucking 5 kids that he doesn't care if he wins or not. Because Calipari says, well, you can't say I'm not a success. Look at all the guys I'm sending to the NBA. That doesn't do anything for the fucking boosters, Dave.
No, does nothing for them whatsoever. In Calipari's entire Kentucky career, he has always had at least one player taken in the top 7 in the NBA draft, and he's had 3 number 1s. This year, he doesn't have that. So now what does he do? So if he's trying to recruit for next year, and he's saying, okay, guys, come on in, they might not come in if they know they're going to come in. And also, he doesn't know how many scholarships he has because he doesn't know who's leaving. So this is when Calipari has that real conundrum. He can't, there were several years where he knew, okay, 4 guys are going to go. So I can go get the 4 best guys that I can get. This is an entirely different year. Now, it's different for Krzyzewski. Krzyzewski is having possibly the best recruiting class in college history next year. He may sweep the top 3 guys coming in because he knows his freshmen are gone. That's even if they don't go far in this year's tournament, they're gone. Calipari might get stuck with these kids coming back next year, and that screws up the whole rhythm of the Kentucky program.
But they might actually be a better team. And that's one thing, too, Dave, I was going to bring up. Remember, Duke never really got those one-and-dones before. They were always sort of, Krzyzewski was sort of against it, but now he's not, and he's getting them. And as you said, he got Barrett, too, the Canadian kid.
Yeah.
He's real good, that kid, Dave, the Barrett kid. Like, real good. We'll have a lot of time to talk college basketball, but I'm going to give you a little warning now, Dave. Not confirmed or anything. But I'll tell you what, I know that SBR is going to be doing some things in Las Vegas, mostly Clay Travis related, actually. But for March Madness, I was talking with Zach last night. I was kicking the tires on coming down already, so it's looking pretty good, Dave. So I'm warning you right now, buddy. It looks like I'll be coming to town for the opening weekend of the tournament.
Oh, so we can finally get that bakery tour.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say, Dave. I'm going to take you and we'll go up across the street to the Palms. I want to show you that place.
I sincerely hope, by the way, that you were well taken care of in Costa Rica on that front, because they were told specifically, to address whatever needs.
I want to thank you, too, because Deb told me, and Deb's the best. She treats me like I'm Axl Rose or something. She treats me like a rock star. And
you mean you're not?
And she even said, she goes, Dave, we were talking about you. And she goes, Dave really loves you. She goes, Dave tells me, make sure you take care of Gabe properly. So I appreciate that, Dave.
Well, it's the little things that you have to do. You have to understand what you have to do for talent to be talent. For listeners who've never been to Vegas for the first round of the NCAA tournament, that's actually more fun than the Super Bowl.
That's why I want to come. Yeah, exactly. I know Super Bowl's it's only one game. It's a pain in the ass. It's fun, but to me, that Thursday, Dave, the Thursday and Friday, you can't beat it in Vegas. That's just, it's so much fun with everyone in the book, and everyone's got their team gear on and the jerseys, and you got people high-fiving each other because they're on the same bets, and fucking turns into, little cliques and rivals, and half the room's got this, and it's just a great atmosphere. And unlike the Super Bowl, if you made a mistake, Dave, in March Madness, there's a fucking other game tipping off in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, instead of just one game, you go 4 wide for most of the day, Thursday and Friday, 4 games at one time. And part of that environment, when you talk about the behaviors of the crowd, it coincides with spring break. So we get a good young crowd out here for that. It's a real energetic crowd. That's kind of a magical time out here. And if you look at what
yes, Dave, because I was thinking about it. I was a big fan. I went down to Tony Miller's party at the Golden Nugget a couple of years in a row. And that was becoming my spot for the Thursday and the Fridays. They opened up the ballroom. They put in betting windows. They set up, they put ticket takers in the ballroom. They put blackjack tables in the ballroom. They got a nice setup there at the Nugget for the tournament, Dave.
I can't say enough good things about Tony Miller in a setting like this. And if anybody is coming out and they're not sure where to be, Tony Miller does as good a job. Yeah, you talk about coaches dealing with what you have to work with. Here's your talent. Here's your personnel. So many of these guys have multiple stores. They run all this handle all over the place. Tony Miller's got one shop. It's downtown. And he works his tail off, not only to run a good book from a betting standpoint, but from accommodating people. And I'll tell you what, if you're going to be out here for spring break, out for the NCAA tournament and various things, you want to be downtown. The convenience of being down there.
Very good point. You can hop and you can line shop too, much easier.
Let me know. I'll get Tony to put you up in a good place. I probably will not be quite as good as what you had in Costa Rica.
Yeah, well, you know what I'm used to now, Dave. Exactly.
Yeah. It might not be quite that good, but it will still be exceptional. Also be a good guy to get on the air to talk about some of this stuff because he is an extremely straight shooter as well. Tony's one of the best out here. Downtown. And downtown is a lot of fun, but what it also does too is if you load up a couple of apps, which you should do when you're here, between loading apps and the convenience of walking around downtown, because downtown you can get to 3 or 4 major books within 10 minutes of being at the Nugget. You got a William Hill presence over at the D. You've got the Boyd gaming properties right across the street at the
He's a good spot too. I endorse the D. Good property, Dave.
Yeah, also guys who have a little bit of play in them. Yeah, it's old school, so you can have a lot more fun down there. So, yeah, let's do this. I will plant some bugs in the ears of the SBR people to sort of make the Golden Nugget, maybe a headquarters throughout on that. Better than being on the Strip.
Well, it's interesting.
Accessibility is good.
The success doing it in the suite yesterday. Zach really likes it. Like I said to him, because I said, we really eliminate a lot of the outside bullshit, with the noise and everything. So we're kicking the tires, Dave, on renting a nice fucking suite in Vegas and doing some bet cast out of the room, which would look pretty sweet.
We should get on this real quickly because those suites they're gonna get.
You're right.
Commandeered.
You can't do it in a room. You need a suite. You know what I mean? You need a suite.
Yeah, and of course we've got some other. We've got we got Teddy Covers. We got other SBR people already here in town. We can bring a few other people.
SBR doesn't do a lot of Vegas stuff, but like I said, Clay's going to be down there. They're doing some stuff with Clay, and you're there. Teddy's there. I told him, listen, I'm already gone. I should have told him that because maybe they would have paid for me. But being the class act, he said after, he goes, all right, maybe I'll get your flight for you, Gabe, and get your room. I'm like, yeah, sounds good. Because I told him, I said, yeah, it's probably already going to be down there, to be honest with you. But so, yeah, nothing's 100%, but I know a lot of guys couldn't make it out of Costa Rica. Every time I do a trip, I'm always like, oh, I'm not going to do anything for a little while, but I'm gonna book it soon too. I thought about it, Dave, because I got an email actually from Air Canada, and I travel so much. They're offering me a great deal. They said, hey, if you book by Vegas before February 13th, you get a flight for like $200. So I was like, damn, fuck, and March Madness around the corner. Maybe I'll do this offer. So let's talk this week about it, Dave. And yeah, let's get the ball rolling because it really is around the corner, this stuff.
Yeah, and for the listeners out there, this is going to be such a compelling tournament because so many times we don't talk about a lot of long shots because these aces at the top are just a little too tough. That's not the case this year. So let's say as good as Villanova is, as good as Purdue is, those are the type of teams that could get out in the Sweet 16. I mean, you could have top seeds that could get knocked out very, very early. Part of the issue with Purdue is in the regular season, experience really matters. Because you're more sophisticated than the other teams. You could do more. But here's the problem with experience in the tournament. If you have seniors, it means they weren't good enough to go pro. And what happens a lot of times to these experienced teams like Purdue is you get to the Elite Eight, and guess what? The other teams got better players, even if they're freshmen and sophomores, because usually by the time you get to late March, you're not freshmen anymore. And that's why when you think about kids like Bagley at Duke, well, yeah, he's a freshman. But when you go through the ACC schedule, you're not a freshman in March anymore. So a lot of these teams with experience get beat because they run into better players. This could be such a wide open tournament. And what we're going to do the next couple of weeks, we'll talk about this a lot on this show on Mondays. Who do we think is going to peak at the right time?
I'm telling you, my Michigan Wolverines, Dave. I'm not saying we're going to win the championship, but we're going to be a difficult out in this tournament.
Why can't you win it? Put John B.
I know, I'm just trying to. I want to be realistic, but I'll be honest with you. Deep inside, I think we can make it to the Final Four. I really do. I think we match up well with anybody, and you know as well as I do, Beeline's one of the best tournament coaches in the country.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, look at the rest of the field. Tie game, 2 minutes left. Is there anybody you fear? Because you have probably the best endgame tacticianer of them all.
I'll put it this way, Dave, like you said, should Michigan really be 80-1 compared to a Purdue at 18-1?
No.
Like, that's what I'm saying. That's whacked out number there, you know?
No, I think they are very, very alike. Because one of the things that actually helps Bayline too, because he has not recruited a lot of these one-and-done superstars, he has to do a lot of coaching during the season. He's in a lot of close games. And it's one of the things we will talk about as we get closer to the tournament. If you are tested by being in close game situations, I think it's one thing that might hurt Villanova a little bit. I don't think they have been in enough that tie game with 2 minutes left, where tie game with 2 minutes left, Bayline's playbook is like a Manhattan phone book. He has so many options that other coaches just don't have. No, I would not be surprised. And again, this is not entertaining for the sake of entertaining on a show. No, this is real stuff. A team like Michigan is absolutely capable of making that run this year because you're not going to run into anybody that you can't beat. That's the difference with this year's tournament.
Florida at 35, intriguing as well. I know they've got issues sometimes, but they're so athletic. You know, they could go on a run. I agree. It's going to be a fun tournament, a completely wide open tournament. All right, Dave, let me ask you. So you're actually a Pennsylvanian first. So I was bringing up the fact of I don't understand the concept. Like I saw someone was eating horse shit, a Philadelphia Eagle fan. Like why? Like why would you eat horse shit? Like a cop horse took a dump, an Eagle fan so happy his team won a Super Bowl, he eats horse shit. Smashing your neighbor's property, I don't get, Dave. I don't know, maybe I'm just older now and stuff, but I don't get that concept. Aren't you supposed to be happy? Like if I like I said, I've been happy and I don't know, maybe, Philly's not used to winning or something, right? My teams have won. I've been in cities with championships before and, people hug each other. You go to the strip club, the lap dances start flowing, the booze is flowing and everyone's fucking happy. I don't get the concept of let's smash things and fight each other because our team won, Dave.
I don't think anyone ever captured the notion better than the great George Carlin. And George Carlin said, think about how stupid the average person is, and half the people are dumber than that. And so I'm going to say that's sort of the all-timer.
Daily Dave said, I think it was Barnum said, trust me, no one's ever gone broke underestimating the intelligence of the American public.
Yeah, when you give someone lacking a little bit in intelligence and in education and various social, give them an opportunity to act out. Because the type of people who bust windows and flip cars over, they don't get a chance to act out very much in their life. Why are you such a big sports fan for these people? Because they don't have anything else going on in their lives that gets them to that level of passion. And it is sad. You feel bad for the Eagles themselves because it's a representation of them. And it's not feeling the same thing could easily happen in Detroit. We've got so many other cities. Okay, and this is going to be a tough one for you to answer, Gabe, but think honestly. If in your lifetime the Buffalo Bills actually win a Super Bowl, what happens in Buffalo?
They don't burn the city down. They're not going to destroy it. It'll be sheer joy.
Okay.
You know what happens in Buffalo, Dave? It's going to be one big fucking orgy. That's what it would be. I know Bills fans. There wouldn't be a single fight. There wouldn't be a single fight. It would be the only people who get hurt would be Bills fans because they do stupid shit. And I tweeted out, I said, don't jump off of RVs and do the shit you do. But hey, they're going to do what they do. But there wouldn't be a single fight. There wouldn't be any violence. They wouldn't riot and smash the city up. It would just be sheer over the top joy. That's what it would be. I said, look, I love the Raptors, Dave. If the Raptors win the championship, I would run out on the fucking street and start fucking high-fiving other fucking Raptor fans. But I wouldn't run outside of the street and say, look, let me smash this fucking car window. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe I'm just mature, Dave.
It is so sad to see that. But part of the problem, too, is when you have all this pent-up frustration inside and you get out there to try to celebrate it, what else do you do other than just yelling at them? I was a Penn State student way back when. And actually, the night that they beat the Vinny Testaverde Miami team for the national championship, watching it at a place called Gatsby's, in downtown State College. And what do you do after the game? There's a light snowfall, and we go out on the streets and you yell a little bit. And then what? like there's not a whole lot else to do except,
Dave, is
let's go back in the bar.
The people in the chat were talking earlier about it. I brought this up years ago, and I've often thought about it, and I almost want to take it back. And I saw it was when the Boston Red Sox won. And there was a guy, and he was an older gentleman. He was in his 80s. And he said, this is the best thing in my life. Now I can die happy. And I thought, well, and I even said on the radio or whatever, I said, fuck, this guy really, like, if you live 90 years and the greatest moment in your life is 25 guys that you don't know won a baseball fucking series, then I don't know what kind of life you led. Yet I don't want to judge people. So I think I was kind of a dick for saying that, Dave, at the time.
Not entirely, because one of the things that the group I work with outside of sports, when we talk about some of the research components that we get involved in, and we bring some of this into play in Point Blank every now and then. So much of this, when we talk about fan behavior or whatnot, this stuff is relatively new. It's not like we have 100,000 years of human history of fan behavior. No, television is only 3 generations. So what did Boston Red Sox fans do 500 years ago? No, a lot of this stuff is brand new. You weren't fans of the Red Sox 200 years ago because they didn't exist. So a lot of the stuff that's going on leads to fascinating social research because it's new. Human history doesn't bring this to us. Television, of course, being a big part of it, because it was harder to be a big fan before because you couldn't relate. You weren't actually seeing who it was you're rooting for.
But I hate to say it, in a sense, people don't want to admit it, but most people you're living vicariously. You're not going to win a Super Bowl. You're not a success in your life. Yet somehow you feel like you are because something you are connected to was, Dave. The people of Philadelphia didn't do jack shit. They didn't win. They helped them. No, that's not true. They helped them win because of the crowd noise, and they did. But you see what I'm saying? It's kind of sad. We as fans, we live vicariously through these people. We did it. It's like, no, we didn't do it. They did it. You don't even know Nelson Aguilar. Nelson Aguilar doesn't know you. He did it. You know what I mean? Nelson Aguilar is the one that sacrificed his entire life to work like a motherfucker to get where he did. Right? So but we lived, it's like, yes, we did it because you're part of it. I get it. It's that mob mentality, Dave, basically. I think as humans, we get disappointed so much in our own personal lives that, you end up living vicariously through these people. Yet I remember when Michigan won, Dave, and I remember when Michigan won the football tournament. I was actually happier when the basketball. When Ramil Robinson and Seton, when we beat Seton Hall in '89, I was fucking I fucking had a tear in my eye. I was like, I can't believe it, man. They fucking did it. But I said, they did it. But I remember I was growing up my whole life loving Michigan, and we never fucking won. And it pissed me off. I was like, fuck. All this talk about Michigan and we're this and we're that. Where are the championships? We finally won, Dave. And I remember it vividly. I stood up. I was like, fuck yeah, man. We're fucking champs. And then, like you said, about 5 minutes later, I was like, wow, fuck, my rent's due tomorrow still. Fuck, I got to go to work in 2 hours. And then sort of, was kind of a letdown, to be honest with you, Dave. I was like, I'm not getting a ring. I'm not part of this. You know what I mean? I just watched them win, but now that's that. It's like, wow, that's that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the difficulty in studying these things is if someone was not a passionate fan of a team, what would they replace that with? So there's a good and a bad to it. Obviously, we're seeing some of the worst in Philadelphia, but again, that's isolated. That's a small percentage, of the Philadelphia fans. That's where the media is going to focus their cameras a little bit. So it's good that others have that outlet, but the question is, what would they do with the outlet otherwise? And that's something that we're studying for the first time through, because again, a lot of this is new. I did not grow up with cable television. I'm actually away at college before my neighborhood even had cable. So I'm a generation before this. So as we study the 24/7 cable crowd and how different their behaviors, have become, it's a fascinating world out there. But I'll tell you what else, Gabe, and it's something a lot of people don't appreciate. When you think about it, it's kind of remarkable from a social research standpoint. In our lifetimes, the entire human population has doubled. Not Syracuse, not El Salvador, not New Zealand. The entire human population has doubled in our lifetimes. And sometimes people need to sit down and pause, because so many of these behaviors that we're seeing that we think are unusual, well, no, we just don't know. This is brand new stuff that's happening out there.
Everything's an experiment. You're right.
It is. There's not a legacy that can say, well, wait a minute. What happened when Philadelphia beat Carthage back in 1208? They didn't beat Carthage in 1208. So these things are brand new.
And you and I are on the same page with this too. People don't realize this, or they don't want to look at it, but it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's just a stupid fucking game. But it was a Super Bowl, or it's a March Madness. Nobody remembers in a couple of years. If you ask me, point blank right now, who won fucking 4 years ago? Who cares who won 4 years ago, Dave? You know what I mean? That's another thing. We live in such an attention deficit disorder society now that your greatest accomplishment is forgotten about in 10 seconds anyways.
It is funny. And I am probably about as guilty in point blank of doing that as just about anybody else. Because one of the things that we talked about as the thread started to wind down, as the game was over last night, and, people are starting to suffer that and say, hey, guess what? Next Monday, pitchers and catchers report. So you and I are sitting here talking about the NCAA tournament. Pitchers and catchers.
Already moved on.
Yeah, they report next Monday. So what we do is we have the advantage of always having something to move forward to. And that's it. If you can bet on sports successfully and you get to that realm where you are winning, that notion that you always have the next day, and you start with a positive frame of mind. And it's one of the biggest differences between winning and losing too. Even if you're struggling with it, start your day with that positive frame of mind. Give yourself that opportunity, because sports betting at least allows for an upside. If you're just a stock shelver at Walmart, if you're running a cash register at 7-Eleven, so many people, their jobs are the same every day, and they aren't going to change. What we do is we get an opportunity every day to have an optimism.
Every day, yeah.
So take advantage, build that dream into the way you think and do your work, and you might be surprised how much better you do it. Negative thinking, I think, hurts people in this endeavor almost more than anything else. Because if you want to think negatively, sports will supply you with all the ammunition you need.
It's funny though, Dave. Like, as we get older, it's different. I'm not going to lie. When I was younger, like when the Buffalo Bills lost Super Bowls, I was betting over my head, but I got depressed for like weeks and stuff. And now I'm older, and like I said, I love the Raptors. I really love the Raptors. And when they lose, Dave, it's not me. It's not my life. You know what I mean? I'm upset, but I'm not depressed about it the next day. You know what I mean? I've had people I love die in my arms. Watching a basketball game and losing a basketball game of a team that I have a jersey on of isn't the worst thing that's ever fucking happened in my life.
Yeah, it's what people have got to be able to do, and we'll get strictly from a betting standpoint. You got to flip the switch. You do not carry a loss into you. You don't carry anything that's going to cloud your judgment, because what we do every day is we make judgments. They're hard enough to make if your mind is clear. Sports are complicated. There's a lot going on out there. If you have clouds that you build into your head as part of those judgments, you're not going to give yourself an opportunity to win. And maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe next year at the seminar in Costa Rica next August, maybe we will do one of the settings on just the process of winning.
I think the mental aspect of gambling is the least discussed of all of them, Dave.
You know why? Because who survives to talk about it? There aren't enough people that win and survive to be able to do this. I've seen so many talented, intelligent people get taken down by their own demons out here. Of course, we've seen it here for the last 30 years because this is where people would have come. Now, the last 10 years, it's changed a little bit because of what's happened offshore. But Vegas in the late 80s, Vegas through the 90s, this is where somebody showed up if they thought they had what it takes. And I saw so many guys who were unbelievably talented, and they couldn't survive their own demons. They got in their own way. The game didn't beat them. They beat themselves. So that would be a good thing to lay out there. What are the things a bettor could do from a mental standpoint to give himself a better opportunity to win the next day?
Gino in the chat says, I wish Dave Malinsky was one of my high school teachers. I would have listened more. So, Dave, the hour just flew by. We're not on tomorrow, Dave, actually, and I'll send you an email about that. We got some scheduling changes. We're moving. Game time decisions will be we're going to 3 hours daily radio, Dave, so we'll start doing a radio hit instead of the TV hit, but not tomorrow. I'll be starting out on Wednesday. I'll announce that shit on Twitter tomorrow. A lot of stuff in here. But before we get out of here, Dave, Nick Foles. So my gut instinct tells me Nick Foles will still be on the Eagles next year right now. But what do you make of this with Nick Foles? Should another team, do you think another team, not should, because what team should and what do are two different things, but with the dearth of quality quarterback playing in the National Football League, will there be a team that's going to make the Philadelphia Eagles an offer they can't refuse? Look, Nick Foles is under contract for another year for only $4 million. So obviously his value is incredibly high. You have Carson Wentz coming off of an injury. It's an interesting situation here. What do you think happens with Nick Foles?
First, if I'm Philadelphia, I tear the contract up and give him a raise. I take the phone off the hook.
Say, listen, you're making $4 now. Look, they paid Chase Daniels $7 a year, right, to be a backup. So you're saying you tear it up. Here's $10 million. We want you to stay on our team, and you're going to be the backup to Carson type thing.
I don't even entertain any offers, because when are you going to know that Carson Wentz
gets hurt again? Or
when are you going to know that he's back to full 100%? You're not going to know until possibly late in training camp. No, if you're this good, and look at this Philadelphia roster and how many guys they have under contract through 2020. This team is loaded. They will get better. No, I'm going to say, no, Nick, we're going to give you more money. We're sorry, you might not play next year. You might not play at all, but we're going to pay you very well not to play. But here's what we want, Nick. We want you to also be our assistant quarterback coach with a helmet on. There's so much you can do to help us every day, even if you don't get on the field on Sundays. I don't entertain an offer for Nick Foles, because when you talk about the notion that what is the offer that they couldn't refuse, Well, what do you need if you're Philadelphia? Your roster is pretty well set across the board. There's not a glaring weakness. I do not entertain any offers right now. Now, one of the things we talked about on another media appearance today, though, that I was real surprised. Westgate came out of the book real quickly. New England as the favorite for next year's Super Bowl. Carson Wentz at 100% opening day in September. Isn't Philadelphia like 4 points on a neutral over New England?
Yeah.
And if you look at it, I made the case that I thought possibly the 4 best teams in the NFL might all be in the NFC next year when the season starts. So, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, Minnesota, and New Orleans may all be better than the Patriots. I was surprised they made New England the favorite. Now, some of that is not power ratings bookmaking. Some of that is bookmaking to the public, knowing who the public wants to bet the most. Philadelphia, it was supposed to be the favorite for next year because as good as they've been, still got to believe Carson Wentz is 3 or 4 points a game better than Nick Foles. The upside for the Eagles is substantial right now.
I see the Patriots are 5-1, Packers 9-1, Eagles 9-1, Steelers 10-1, Vikings 14-1, Dallas Cowboys 16-1, Falcons 18, Rams 18. Interesting you brought the Rams up. They are an interesting team to keep our eye on moving forward. They're 18-1. Seattle aging 22-1. The Saints 22, Panthers 22 as well. All right, so it's 32-28 after the first quarter of play in Los Angeles for the LA Clippers, a higher scoring first quarter of play. In-game total is now 220.5. LA Clippers minus 7.5. We can talk all night with the Professor Dave Malinsky, but we've got to let him go. But Dave, it's always a pleasure. People in the chat really enjoyed the conversation tonight.
Well, I know I got to start working on getting things set up at the Golden Nugget. I'll talk to Zach and the people throughout this week. You let me know what your plans are. Let's put this together because that's a dynamite time to be out here. I think it makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we'll get on this. I'll speak to you tomorrow. We can talk about a couple other things. I'll send you an email, but speak to them and let's get the ball moving for sure.
I will do that. We will set up the first annual Gabe Morency Las Vegas Bakery Tour coming up in March. You will become the expert on the new emerging pastry scene that we have out here.
Always a pleasure, Dave.
Thanks, Gabe. Good night.
Dave Malinsky. Dave's trying to get me all messed up on edibles out there in Vegas. Great stuff with the Professor Dave Malinsky. As we pick up the pieces, just returning from this trip, man. Now, not to pat myself on the back and pull a Barry Horowitz, but I got to wonder how many people can even pull this off, to be honest with you. But I'm pretty much a machine. I'm a broken down machine. I'm a broken down machine. I'm a machine that doesn't feel very good, but I'm a machine in a sense that I really can't tell the time ever. Like I feel no different at 11:08 right now than I did at 11:08 this morning. Like it was 5 a.m. today. That was the rough part. That was the rough part. And I think poor Donnie Rightside, I think, is still like trying to get home right now. It's fucking far, man. Costa Rica is far, all right? You're in the middle of the fucking mountains in Central America. So it's a little, last night it kind of sucked in a sense. It was the Super Bowl. Some of the boys went out after the game. I didn't. Because I was like, what am I going to do, man? It was 1 a.m. They wanted to go out. They're like, oh, pull an all-nighter. Like, pull an all-nighter? Fuck. It already is an all-nighter. Like, it is going to be an all-nighter for me. My plane was at 9. I was so far up in the mountains. They picked me up at 5. I thought I was going to fucking die. Like on the road. Here's Drew Martin. What's up, Drew? The ride to the airport was fucking scary like I thought it was going to be, Drew. Man, we came this close to smashing into a truck once, fuck. I basically lied down and like didn't want to look. I didn't want to see. I figured, well, if we crash, and it is what it is. But there was once I could tell, man, he sort of swerved and I looked up. I'm like, holy fuck. And I even heard him swear and shit. We got there fucking fast. We got there fucking fast. I appreciate small throw. We got there like 6:30 in the morning. Except these airports there, they suggest you get there 3 hours before for a reason. Like it took me about an hour to get to to get my boarding pass and shit. I had to wait in line. It's not quick. And then my plane was delayed. Then I told you I got back. I had no money. I had to fucking walk in the fucking cold. I get home. I got no internet. I got no cable. I'm like, oh, this is just great. Yeah, nothing's changing here, Pick Machine. Nothing's changing here, Pick Machine. We're still here every night at 10 o'clock. I have a day radio show. I have a day radio show that Red Heat and Rage is now going to be 3 hours, folks. So you're getting more of me and Cam. Yeah, basically, Cam Stewart's going to be coming over every day. Like, no shit. Like, I've got to build a radio studio in my fucking condo before Wednesday morning, essentially. I'm getting all these emails. Oh, you got to get this and that. I'm like, fuck, man. So, yeah, nothing changes. We're all good here. I'm not sure, Brian. That's how crazy shit is right now. I just spoke to the guy and I'm like, he's like, maybe we can do tomorrow. I'm like, what time? Like, I can't just, you know what I mean? Like, I'm all about rock and roll, but even me, I told them, I said, listen, get your shit together and get back to me in a couple of days, man. Like, you know, give me a time, give me a day, and I'm there. But no more GTD on fantasy, Spencer. Well, I haven't officially announced it yet, but no. The show that wouldn't die is on life support. I'll tweet all this stuff out in the coming days. So yeah, Cam's going to be coming over to my house daily now. Should be interesting. Yeah, Cam's going to be coming down here daily. No, Reggie, I'm screwed. No, I'm a prisoner. You're exactly right. I guess, yeah. So I never have to leave my house. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. Yeah, good call, Spenny Mac. What up, Spenny Mac? That's a good point. You know, I'll be nice to Cam. Oh, yeah, I'm going to have to fucking buy him a couple of Pepsis. Yeah, but then he's going to think that I'm going to provide him Pepsis on a daily basis, which I'm not. I'll get Pepsis for him for the first few days, all right? Oh, God. Yeah, I know Red Most. I'm aware. Yeah, but essentially I'll be locked in here broadcasting, 5-7 hours a day. You know what I mean? And on another note, I could have a lady friend coming over And only people I know, like, even chicks I know are the same. Like, I know that this girl in Montreal, she's always telling me she's going to come here, right? And she's going to like stay for like a little while. So it's just funny, man. I get a text tonight. The chick's like, she's like, "Do you still want me to come see you?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And I'm like, "When do you want to come?" She's like, "I can leave right now." And the thing is, I know this girl, okay? This girl isn't like, I can't imagine she can leave right now because she's just dying to fucking see me. Like, I don't know what this chick's deal is. Like, fucking, I just want to point blank and ask her, like, what are you leaving here? What's your deal? Because the other day she texted me, she goes, "I want to come to Toronto, like, right now. Can you get me a ticket? I'll come right now." I told her, "No, I'm leaving for Costa Rica in an hour." Fuck. So I just got back. And she's like, I'll come right now. I can take, I'll take the late train. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, what's your deal? Like, I don't think you're that like passionately like missing me. Like, so I'd ask her, like, "Yeah, what's going on here, baby? Like, you got issues with a boyfriend? You got this?" Or like, what's up? But no, me and this girl go way back. So she might be downstairs. She doesn't want a free trip to Toronto, Joseph Kim. She barely speaks English. She's a French chick. I told her, I might be moving to Vancouver. And she said, "Oh, I'll move with you if you want." So I'm like, "Yeah, sure." No, but I told people this the other day, man. I said, "Montreal, man." Chicks from Montreal, they're, it's a roller coaster, but they're pretty passionate. So settle down, Redmos. This chick, she's the epitome of a Montreal chick, too. She's not even from Montreal. She's from Trois-Rivières. I showed Cam a picture because he saw I was talking to her. He's like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "That's a friend of mine, Cam." And it's an ex-girlfriend of mine. And he's like, "Holy fuck." He goes, "I thought it was Lee Aaron." You know, the metal queen, Lee Aaron, the rock singer. He goes, "I swear to God, I thought that was you and Lee Aaron." I'm like, "Yeah, she does look like Lee Aaron. I'm aware." Yeah, she looks like Lee Aaron. Like, a lot of people think she's Lee Aaron all the time. She's got a good Shania Twain thing going too. She's a very good musician, this girl. Yeah, the metal queen. And I just heard my phone text right now. I just heard my text. I just assume this chick doesn't watch this show, to be honest with you. But if she is, I'm in a lot of trouble right now. Nah, there's no way she watches this show. I swear I heard my text message. I'm like, oh, fuck. You guys know me. Like, I talk openly and shit, but I don't want to say too much. Like, this chick wouldn't like it. Like, some people I know that think it funny that I talk about them, like, she wouldn't. Like, I know. She, like, that's why I got a text. She'd be like, fuck, shut up. Stop talking to me on your show. All right, change the subject. Change the subject. And last night, too, I got a message from a girl that watched the Betcast. I got a message last night from another chick to watch a Betcast. She's like, oh, I haven't seen you, in a long time. She's like, you're so successful. I think she thought that was my place or something. She's like, your place is awesome in Costa Rica. She's like, give me a call anytime. I think she thinks that was my place or something. Yeah, that's my place in Costa Rica. Spenny Mac says plus 700. Hey, Spenny Mac, good for you, Spenny Mac, that the Patriots didn't win because it fucking softens the blow. Hey, guys, Spenny Mac in the chat is the guy that had the $30 parlay that paid all that money with the Patriots on it, and he cashed out. Good job. You fucking hedged. You got the money, Spenny Mac. In the end, you were smart in the end, bro. Oh, trust me. Fuck. I don't know what the fuck I was even coming back for. Yeah, Bob, like winning the lottery. I saw your tweet there, Drew. I don't even know who that guy, who is sexy. I don't know. I do know that Yuppie is pretty much a pervert, the guy that's in the Yuppie suit now, but I don't know who's Sexy Eddie. What up, Zach Kenkel? Drew Martin was in here. Drew's a class act. We had a great time hanging with Drew. Oh, he's from the Montreal. That's what I thought. Okay. Oh, Sexy Eddie. That's right. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. How's my boy Beef Wellington doing? I considered it, Chris. I'm not going to lie. This morning when I was standing on a balcony at 5 a.m. in front of the Pacific Ocean, and I knew I was coming back to an empty place and nothing. I'm like, why am I even doing it? And even Zach last night said, he goes, Gabe, he goes, he sort of just said, he pointed around, and he goes, I don't even know why you're going to leave, because I told him I want to do a reality show. Me and Pete Loshak living together, the SBR house, and he loves it. So he's like, don't go, and we'll shoot right now, you and Loshak. You imagine me and Loshak. It's the SBR house. It's going to be like me, Loshak, Jimmy, Drew. We're going to put a bunch of guys in the house, reality television. And whoever gets the most units, like, you know, there'll be like a contest. Whoever has the most units at the end of the month wins type shit. Oh, yeah, Drew would be awesome. Because you know where it started from? Me and Loshak fucking just arguing, but fun arguments. Me and Loshak hit it off. So I know Pete a bit. He used to come on my show, but it's the first time I really hung out with him. And Pete's more of a low-key guy, but he was having a lot of fun. So if you remember on the air the other night, well, I think it was on my show, and I said to Pete, how much did you bet on that? He wouldn't tell me, and I got mad. I said, just tell me, how much did you bet? And he wouldn't, and we got into it. and then later we got into it again. And it was fucking gold. I told we got to be fucking, yeah, we got to be recording all this shit, man. I said, imagine all of us in this house just fucking fighting all the time. You imagine Jimmy the Bag in the corner crying every night? Jimmy's too emotional. I'll be annoying everyone in the house. Fucking people like fucking Morency talking shit behind my back. It'd be a great show. Yeah, remember, it's settle down, Loshak. Yeah, the SBR house. It's sort of like the Heisman house, but the SBR house. Exactly. Like basically, like Drew, like Drew Martin would be there. Like basically, we'll get fucked up, do stupid shit, but like a reality show. Like we'll go see the Crocs, we'll go boating and shit. Like we'll do like adventures, but also be gambling and living together. Listen, we can all. I told them we could do it for 2 weeks. Like, you know, you film it for like 10 days type shit. Because let's be real, we couldn't all live together in a house for a month. But don't you? It would be awesome. You guys would watch. It writes itself. Just imagine like Loshak trying to cap, and I roll in all wasted. What's up, Pete? Fuck off, Gabe. I'm trying to cap. Come on, man. Fucking, it'd be some good stuff. Pat Mayo hosted. Yeah, Pat Mayo was born to be the host of a Big Brother show. It's 49-43 for the Clippers right now. See, that's the thing. Like, that's what I'm saying, Drew. Like, we need, like, challenges and shit. Exactly. But also with betting. So, basically, whoever has the most units, you know what I mean? Be fun. Think like we can go to a Costa Rican soccer game and shit. Like, film us at the game. Like, there's a lot of good shit you can do. Like I said, so a game time decision is coming to an end. I've actually got a couple of other things that I'm working on now. Then listen, I could have done game time decisions till I'm blue in the teeth every day. So now I'm thinking other TV, like reality TV. I got another thing besides SBR. I have another TV project in the works right now, in which now I'm not going to try to like be on daily TV. I'm going to try to write my own TV shows and get them on TV. Yeah, it'd be funny too. Like if we did it where like it's the most units. So you imagine if you're down, you're like, fuck, I got no choice. We got to bet on fucking Kia Picanto tonight, fucking money line, because we got to catch up to Loshak on the units. You know? You know what I got to do, Big Will? Basically, I got to start hanging out with Richard Garner again. No shit. I already told Garner the other day. I said, Garner, I got a few ideas. Fuck, I know you know the guy, so let's sit down and meet here. Yeah, everything. It's all gambling related. I've got a really good idea for a show pick machine. I can't say about this one publicly because whatever. But I've got a good idea. Now, I see you guys are being a little hard on Jimmy right now. Jimmy was crushing it for the guys had a couple of bad days. Not the end of the world. See, the thing with Jimmy is though he gets so upset and talks about it so much that's what I'm going to tell him. Stop talking about losing, fuck, because now people are just talking about it. You know what I mean? Jimmy will be just fine. Everyone settle down. Exactly. Jimmy's already too hard on himself. The guy fucking takes his shit seriously, guys. Like, yeah, he cares what people think. I don't. You know what I mean? I told him, I said, one day you'll get to a point where you won't give a shit, Jimmy. But he still does, you know? He's a good guy. But, you know, the thing is, and it sounds, you know, hypocritical for me, but I was going to say this, Danny. You can't be emotional and be a daily gambler. You got to take the emotion out of it. Like, I'll yell about a game and shit, but you'll see I lose. Like, boom, it's gone. Like, bam, next. You can't be emotional about this shit, man. You can't be emotional in life. All right, quick smoke break. You got to think of it like a basketball player. Like if the basketball player misses his first four, if Lou Williams misses his first 3 pointers of the game, he's not going to start freaking out and bitching about it. He's just going to keep shooting, right? What do you mean I'm just a prick? $53.46 for the Clippers. 53.49. Oh. Tobias Harris for a deuce. I've always sort of been a little bit of a Clipper fan. I can't lie. When I lived in LA, I went to Clipper games, right? Like, I was briefly part of Clipper Nation for like 2-3 years, when I lived in LA. They were so bad, too. All right, so we're on the Clippers here. So I'm dead serious, guys. I only played. I didn't get a chance to bet today because I got back. I had problems. Of course, we had a great night last night with the Super Bowl. I mean, last night, really, it couldn't have went any better, really, with the props that we gave you guys. I told you, LeGarrette Blount scored a touchdown. He did. Plus 230. I told you, James White was going to score a touchdown. Plus 190. He did. I told you, Danny Amendola would have 8 catches for plus 300. He did. You can go down the list, but yeah, the Raptors are going to the finals this year. We're not going to win. We can't beat Golden State. No one can beat Golden State. But yeah, we're going to the finals. Book it. I saw Joel Embiid last night celebrating. Cool that he was out there and shit. He's like, yeah, we're next. No, you're not. No, you're not. You got a lot. You guys are you're down on the pecking order here, Joel. You're next. You don't even play back-to-back games, fuck. This fucking guy, man. I've never seen a guy talk as much as Joel fucking Embiid, man. And the thing is, he's a wicked player, but fuck, kid, you got to shut the fuck up, man. Until you man up and are able to play a full fucking season instead of being fucking treated like a fucking little baby and fucking playing every 2 nights, shut the fuck up. It drives me crazy, these guys. I got nothing against the Eagles. I don't like the Sixers, though. I'll be honest with you. I don't like their little trust the process shit and the process this and that. It's who the fuck do these guys think they are? Fuck. You're an average NBA team. Yeah, you got a lot of good young players. Good for you. You haven't won jack shit, fuck. Make the fucking playoffs at least, fuck, and talk shit. I've never seen a team that struggles to be 500 that talks. It's guys, look at the standings. He really is, isn't he, this fucking guy? It's just shut the fuck up, dude. You're good. You're going to be good. You're a star. I get it. You're good. I'm not taking it away from you. But, you're fucking mean. Who the fuck is Joel Embiid? This is all you need to know about Joel Embiid. Oklahoma City beat the Sixers last week, and Joel Embiid's tweeting himself dunking over Westbrook. Westbrook gives a shit. You're in the same league as Russell Westbrook, dude. Russell Westbrook brings it every night, kid. He's been bringing it every night for the last 5 years. You bring it fucking every second night for the last 2 months. Blah, 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 blah. Thanks, Brian Rowe. How was the Super Bowl rigged, Tyler? What was rigged about the Super Bowl? All those pass interference penalties that the fucking Patriots didn't get called on? Yeah, you're right. It was rigged. They wanted New England to win. It actually was. Last night was a poorly officiated game, and New England got every fucking call, and they still lost. That's what made it even sweeter. That's what made it even sweeter. They tried to fucking fix it. They fucked Philadelphia in every spot they could last night. Thanks, Ryan Cartwright. Thanks, O'Connell. The NFL referees are all fucking clowns. Yeah, that's the only thing with Clement. I left Clement on the table. Fuck, man, that kid had a big game. The Philadelphia Eagles were the best team in the NFL this year. You got to tip your cap to them. They were. You know, they beat a very good Minnesota team. They beat the New England Patriots. The funny thing is, the Falcons came closest to beating them. The Falcons should have beaten the Eagles. They were the better team. Fucking Matt Ryan, like, fuck, you know, like, seriously. Julio Jones fucking slipped on the last play of the game. Matt Ryan and the play call, they were on the fucking 3-yard line. And I tell you, if Julio Jones doesn't slip, the Eagles are out. Like, it's such a fine line. He still nearly caught the ball. Even though the play fell apart and he fell, he still nearly caught it. There's no way in hell Jalen Mills was going to beat Julio Jones on that. Jones was going to beat him. Jones had it. He was going to go up. He was going to catch it. He was going to box Mills out, and it was over. But Julio Jones fell, and it fucking broke the play. It's crazy how that shit works. A fine line, man. Yeah, settle down, Timor. We get it, bro. Good, good. Fuck, man. Like, Timor, are you going to fucking, you know, you're going to text 38 fucking million times tonight that you won? It's good. Good for you. You gave your email. If people want the picks, it's good, bro. Yeah, and that's the that's the thing that we don't know, man. How many of us, including myself, look, I bet on the Philadelphia Eagles yesterday. I said they were going to win the game outright. But I also fucking vividly said that there's no way in hell the Eagles win a fucking game in the playoffs with Nick Foles. We all said it. The way that they looked, you know, in those last few weeks, no one thought this was going to happen. Sports, man, you know, sports, we all think we know, but it reminds me, I remember when the Chicago White Sox won the World Series a long time ago. It was like 2007 or something. And or even earlier. It was 2005. I was on the radio in Montreal because I remember vividly I lost like a fucking bet on the White Sox. And I lost on the White Sox like 3 times in like a 4-day span, all right, or something. And I swear, I always remember I fucking ripped the White Sox. They were like, the White Sox had a great, you know, they had a great record that year and shit. And they were in first place. And I remember saying, fuck the White Sox. These guys are frauds. They ain't going to win shit. And they won the World Series, right? Yeah, it was actually the election in Costa Rica yesterday. So yeah, great times in Costa Rica. I enjoyed Jaco Beach more than San Jose. We went pretty hard on Saturday night. We went out, good times. Nothing. It's probably a bad thing, but like people ask me how crazy to get. I was like, well, I got nothing really to be too ashamed about, really. Like, the food was good. It's a little difficult ordering, but they don't speak English in Costa Rica, like barely. Like for a touristy place, you figure that they would speak English. They don't. It's an interesting concept. Like they don't. Yeah, but I did like we did a little bit of everything. We ate fucking standard fast food. We ate local Costa Rican food. We drank. I drank the local beers when I was there. Yeah, the IFBC is going to be in Hako Beach, most likely. Hako Beach should be the home of the IFBC. Yeah, I will say that the drugs are better in San Jose than Hako Beach. That's one thing I will say. Hako Beach is a little touristy, so. Yeah, if you go right into the barrios there, you go into the hood in San Jose, it's more hardcore. It's a little touristy to stuff, put it that way. Oh yeah, no, the Hako Beach, beautiful place. The beach isn't, whatever. It's the ocean and the beach and shit, but there are better beaches in Costa Rica, supposedly. But this is the big party spot, There's people from all over the world there. There's already blow there. Yeah, there's a lot of blow there. You're in Central America. Did I see any boobies? Yeah, I got to be honest with you, Ren. It was less sleazier. I didn't get too sleazy, no. We went to this one place, but we got there a little late. I was surprised because it's fucking Saturday night. And I don't know, most of the chicks were kind of, like I said, I like the other place, and that was another thing. I like the other place went to better. No, they don't have good weed in Costa Rica now, and it's fucking expensive. That would be a problem for me in Costa Rica, actually. Are the chicks hotter out there than in the States? Chicks are hot everywhere, pick machine, but generally, yes. Generally, yes. I will say yes. All right. So, second half lines. Holy shit. Oh, I thought it was the half. All right. So it's 79-77 for the Bulls. Fucking Bulls had a massive lead in this game, man. They were up 28-9. They were up 28-9. They were up 55-41. And now they're only up 79-77. The Clippers and the Mavericks, 58-55 at the break. It's exactly what the number was. Well, they're minus 6.5 now. Second half total is 105.5. I lean with the over here. I actually think the Bulls will still win this game. Sacramento will fucking fuck it up. Both these teams just lose every fucking night, but small play on the Bulls. Money line, minus 108. They took that away from me as I tried to click it. Now I got the Bulls minus 1, minus 103. Not logged in. What the fuck are you talking about? What you talking about, Willis? Live betting. All right, now we're in Chicago Bulls minus 1. And we'll go a small play, second half over of this Dallas Clippers game. NBA second half. Oh, fuck me. I just missed it. And, of course, they had a fucking 3 out of the grade. All right, live betting. All right, Bulls now up 82. 82-77. That's good. All right. Over under 220. Oh, 219.5. All right. I won't pull a low shack here, I'll tell you. I'm putting $50 on it. $50 on over 219. I got 75 on the Clippers minus 6. Fucking bookmaker in game's fucking annoying though. So one good thing about Bet365 with the in game, like a lot of these other books with the in game, like they don't really have it. They freeze it, they stop it. Oh no, can't accept it. No. Prices change. Yes, I'm aware the prices fucking change. Fuck. Bet cannot be posted. Prices change. Well, why do you change the price every split second? Fucking hate this bullshit. Fuck. Prices change. Yes. Like, are you guys in a fucking business of taking a bet? Oh, God. And this whole time, it keeps going up. Unfucking believable, man. Fuck. All right, you know what? Fuck you. You don't want it? You don't want it? Price has changed. This is the 10th time I've tried to get the fucking bet in. Well, I got it in at the other place. I can't win now. It's a track meet. I got it in at Bet365. I can't get it in at Bookmaker. Wow. I swear to God, if you don't accept this next wager, I'm just going to withdraw all my money and I'm never going to bet here ever fucking again. Is anyone trying this right now? All right, we got it in at 222.5. Fuck. All right. It's all good. It's all good. Suddenly the Clippers are fucking sucking too. The game's tied right now. Oh, boom. Now Dallas take a lead. 3-ball Dallas. Fucking brick. All right, now I'm getting upset. Fuck, I gotta change this up. Let's change the subject here. So we talked with Malinsky about Nick Foles a bit. Another 3-ball Dallas. The Mavericks have outscored them 17-8, but I told you, second half over. They've already scored 25 points in 5 minutes. Bulls are now up by 5. Basically, now I need to win these two $50 bets, fucking, because it looks like the Clippers are going to fuck us. Clippers are now -1.5. I actually think there's fucking value. They should come back, but they are down by 6 suddenly. So, yeah, so Dave said, well, if I'm Philadelphia, you keep him. But listen, I think Nick Foles is the type of guy that probably would stay. Yet, he makes $4 million a year. He just won the Super Bowl. and played damn well doing it. He wasn't just there. You know, they don't win without him type shit. So I'm not playing for $4 million next year. Or if I am, I'll tell them, listen, all right, fine, but I'm out of here after this. I mean, they almost owe it to him, in my opinion, to let him go to the Cleveland Browns. You know what I mean? Like, they owe it to him to let him take the fucking money somewhere. That's the way I look at it with Nick Foles. He's 30 years old. He's still in his prime. And the quarterback play in the NFL blows. So if you're Nick Foles, like, you know, you can get $20, $25 million a year. I personally think that the best thing, I think the Eagles owe it to him to fucking let him go, personally. Trade him. You get something back in return. Are you going to get this guy to hold a fucking clipboard for you now for $4 million a year? Come on. You guys made more than $4 million in a team merchandise sales for your championship gear, probably. But then you have to ask yourself, is Nick Foles really that good, though? Or was Nick Foles on a great team with great coaches, with great play calling? Like, they put Nick Foles in a position to succeed. Now, he did it, but Nick Foles is not a franchise-saving quarterback. Nick Foles is a damn good quarterback on a damn good football team. Right? So, Nick Foles isn't a damn good quarterback on a damn bad football team. Nick Foles can manage a game when he's surrounded by ultra weapons that he had. You throw Nick Foles on the fucking Arizona Cardinals, or you throw Nick Foles on the Cleveland Browns, and he's Nick Foles again. And I'm not taking it away from Nick Foles, but he was put in a position to succeed with superstars around him. They're fucking loaded, the Eagles. Their offensive line is awesome. They had LeGarrette Blount, Corey Clement, and fucking J.J. in the backfield. Alshon Jeffrey, Aguilar, Zach Ertz. Someone was always open. You know what I'm saying? And Peterson and Wright did a great job of the play calling and making it easier for him. And that's what good coaches do. It always drives me crazy. You know, like with Tyrod Taylor at Buffalo, it always drives me crazy in which we always ask him to do things that we know he can't do. Stand in the pocket, do this, do that. Guys, you're trying to fucking force a fucking square peg into a round hole here. All right? And then you get frustrated after. Well, you know, we call the plays. It drives me crazy. Coaches do this all the time in the NFL. They call the plays, and then they act arrogant. It's a big thing. The fuckface in Miami does that. Gase. Yeah, great job getting rid of Ajayi, Gase. So Adam Gase does that. I call the plays. You know, they don't execute them. What do you want me to tell you? That's what, like, Gase's attitude is. A lot of coaches' attitude is that. You know, we gave them the playbook. We gave them the plays. It's up to them to execute the fucking play. Yeah, but coach, how about you create plays that you think will work for this guy as opposed to being an arrogant jerk and saying, well, just do this because this is the play I drew up. Now, Frank Reich and Doug Peterson did exactly that. They played to Foles' strengths. They knew what he could do and they knew what he couldn't do, and they didn't ask him to do shit. And I brought this up. I brought it up after the Minnesota game, in which the coaching staff of Philadelphia really deserves credit, man. That's one of the best coaching jobs I've ever seen in my life. And I'm not just saying that. Like, honestly. These guys lost so many players They lost their star quarterback. Yet they won the Super Bowl. And like I said, with the exception of Atlanta, who should have beaten them, I mean, they smashed Minnesota and they smashed New England. Not smashed New England, but they were the better team, and they hung 41 points on them. That's Doug Peterson and Frank Reich's play calling. Jim Schwartz's schemes on defense. Like, great coaching staff. And one thing with Philadelphia is now Carson Wentz, who's a very competitive person, now he's going to be driven to get his own Super Bowl. Even though it was both of them. Because without Carson Wentz, the Eagles don't have home field. And it's another thing. It goes to show how important home field is. You only need to win 2 fucking games to get to the Super Bowl. That's why, like, the Super Bowl, it's cool to win the Super Bowl, but the Super Bowl is like one of the easiest trophies in sports to win. Like, you really don't have to be, like, awesome. It's sort of like Lou Holtz said. Like, when Lou Holtz won a national championship with Notre Dame, people were like, they're not even the best team, fuck. Like, people were mad, right? But they were undefeated. And like Lou Holtz said, he goes, I don't know. He goes, I don't know if we're the best team. He goes, I know we were the best team every Saturday against the team we played against. Right? It's sort of like March Madness. It's about getting the bracket and stuff and everything falling into place. But, like, if you think about it, like I said, you got to win 2 games to get to the Super Bowl. It's not like this long, grueling, over the top. I get it, the regular season long, but when you compare it to the Stanley Cup playoffs, you got to win 4 fucking rounds, 4 games around, and it's a fucking war. You know what I mean? Like, the Stanley Cup playoffs is just every second night you're getting fucking stick to the head, face first to the glass. Everybody's blocking shots. Like, NHL players are fucking getting the living shit kicked out of them fucking the playoffs for fucking 3 months. You know what I mean? That's hard to do. Not play 2 games at home on a bye week. Now, I'm not saying this about Philadelphia per se. I'm just talking about Super Bowls as a whole. It's a great accomplishment in football, but it's not this great sporting accomplishment, really. It's a game. You won a few games. Like, there's a reason why basically 29 of the last fucking 40 Super Bowl winners are 1 seeds. There's a reason why. Like, you play 2 games at home. It's not that hard to win 2 games at home. And you go to the Super Bowl. That's why the Bills won to 4 straight Super Bowls. Fuck. We had home field every fucking year, guys. And no one would be able to beat us in Buffalo, and we go and we lose in the Super Bowl. The hardest trophy in sports to win is the Stanley Cup. I like it so sad. They should make it a best of 3, fuck. Super Bowl, best of 3. Yeah, but I believe that the hardest trophy in sports to win is the Stanley Cup. The NBA playoffs is a grind, but it's not the same as the Stanley Cup. Major League, a World Series is pretty fucking hard to win with the new playoff additions and stuff. John Owasu says not all hockey players are tough. Yeah, hockey players are tough. Look, no one's going to say that an 82-game NBA season isn't a grind. But let's be real. In the NBA, there's only fucking 4 or 5 good teams in the playoffs. Like, it's not the same. The first round is a joke in the NBA. Like, that's the difference. Like, how many 8-1 upsets have there been in the NBA over the years? 2? You know what I mean? What, the Dallas Mavericks beat Golden State and the Denver Nuggets beat Seattle. Like fucking Seattle. That's how far we're going back. Mutombo. Remember Mutombo lying down on the ground? Why? Because it's not competitive. All you need to know is last year, the Nashville Predators were the last team to get into the playoffs. They went to the Cup and nearly won the Cup. The Nashville Predators were a 16 seed. They were an 8 seed and a 16 seed. They nearly won the Cup. I guarantee you the Clippers aren't nearly winning the NBA title if they get into the 8th hole here. They're going to get waxed in the first round. Yes. I would pretty much bet on almost any NHL player in a fight against LeBron James. Like, put it this way. I hate Brad Marchand. I think he's a little fucker. Brad Marchand's how big compared to LeBron James? They get into a fight outside of a bar, fuck. What do you think happens? What do you think happens? LeBron might punch Marchand in the face, but the difference is Marchand won't matter. Like, he get his nose busted and he won't stop till he's got fucking LeBron on the ground. He's cracking his skull. Like, you know what I mean? My money's on Marchand. NBA players are big pussies, fuck. These fucking guys fucking get a fucking torn hamstring. Oh my God. It's not even close, fuck. LeBron ain't scaring anybody, fuck. For a 6'9" big dude. Any enforcer in the NHL would kick the shit out of anybody in the NBA. Maybe fucking James Johnson, fuck, would have a chance. There's a few dudes in the NBA. Dwight Howard would be a fucking pain in the ass. Like, Dwight Howard's just so big and strong that, like, he could throw you through a window and shit. But he's a big pussy, right? Like, that's the difference. NHL players are used to taking a puck to the face and losing 18 teeth. NBA players get manicures, guys. Tristan Thompson, 7 feet, all right? The guy's wearing makeup, hanging with the Kardashians, fuck. Now, football is different. Because listen, I can tell you a ton of stories, fuck, about football. Football and hockey players often fight in Canada. It's a big thing. It's almost like it's happened with every team almost. You know, like the Edmonton Eskimos fight with the Oilers. Like, it happens. And it usually doesn't end well for the hockey guys. Only because the linemen are too big and shit, right? Ronnie Lott lost his fucking finger and kept playing. Olin Nolan's right about that. The toughest guys in the NBA, you're right. Biombo's a fucking nut job. Serge Ibaka's from Congo. Ibaka don't play around. Like, Ibaka will fight anybody anytime. Like, I never realized how angry that guy is, actually. I always thought he was sort of a nice guy, but now he's on our Raptors. Like, he got into a fight with, like, a fucking assistant the other day. Like, Ibaka's a nice guy, but he goes from 0 to fucking 80 pretty quickly, this guy, man. Ibaka's got a fucking temper on him, and he's fucking ripped. Like, Serge Ibaka, I wouldn't want to fuck with that guy. And then you get into the fucking Serbian dudes and shit. There's a few guys in the NBA that are nuts, but as a whole, they're pretty much pussies. They're not fighters, right? Hockey players are fighters. Hockey players are used to pain. That's the difference. They're just used to it. Guys, if one of these NBA players took a puck off their fucking ankle, they'd be out for the year. Like, dude, I see an NBA player loses his tooth and he leaves the game and he doesn't come back. Oh my God, the announcer. Oh my God, he lost his tooth on the floor. You lose 10 teeth in a hockey game, they think you're soft, unless you miss a shift. You imagine Vince Carter blocking a slap shot? He'd be in the hospital for a year, Like, it's not even comparable. And in fact, NBA players are smart enough to know that. Look, like Draymond Green's a tough guy. He's a big dude. Hassan Whiteside's a nut job. I wouldn't want to fuck with Hassan Whiteside. There's a few dudes from the street and shit that are kind of crazy and have been in fights, but for the most part, NBA players are pretty prima donnas, man. Playing at Duke, and you know what I mean? They're prima donnas, these guys. You think Russell Westbrook was fighting in practice every day? What, UCLA? You know what I mean? They're not fighters. They don't pretend to be fighters. The guy brought up Draymond Green. I saw Draymond. He was talking about hockey, and he was like, there's no way in hell I would do that. He's like, those guys are crazy. Like, even Draymond Green was like, no, man. He's like, those guys, no. Like, he's like, that's another level, The toughest hockey player of all time? I don't know. That's a tough question. They're all tough. Mario Lemieux played with cancer. Yeah, that's all you need to know. Like, yeah, you have cancer in the NHL and you're still expected to play. It's like, well, you got cancer, but can you give us 16 minutes? Yeah, Larry Bird's a tough guy. I give that to Night Flight. You know what it is, actually? The older NBA guys were tougher. Like Bill Laimbeer, the Pistons, Bad Boys, Larry Bird, Charles Oakley. Those guys were tough. These guys in the NBA, they're not tough. I don't know, like toughest player. It's pretty much, I don't know, to me, Bob Probert. Bob Probert was the best fighter, toughest guy. But I'm trying to think, like, who's played through the most pain and stuff like that, right? Sidney Crosby's a tough little fucker, I'll tell you that. Like, Sidney Crosby, like, fucking plays, like, broken hands, and, like, he goes through a lot of shit, that kid. Yeah, Gary Roberts. Kyle Farnsworth, baseball pitcher, yeah. Yeah, Big Bird, Larry Robinson. He's a big guy, man. It was like the Montreal Canadiens in the 70s. Yeah, you wouldn't want to fuck with those guys. The Canadians weren't known as fighters, but they had Larry Robinson and Pierre Bouchard, and both those guys would fucking fuck you up. I don't think you get it, John. Where are you from, John? You said are you from Philly? You said you watched the Broad Street Bullies? Like, I don't think you understand the different level of toughness, bro, that an NHL hockey player is. Like, it's not comparable to fucking the NBA, bro. It's not, it's like trying to compare an AFL football player or a rugby player to an NBA player. It's nothing disrespectful against these NBA players. They're great athletes. Can they jump higher than Bob Probert? Yes. But they can't punch him in the face. Like, they're not as tough, dude. And most of these guys in the NBA are fucking prima donnas, okay? They've been playing, they've been fucking treated like little fucking bitch stars since they're 12 and shit. No, I'm just saying, like, John, you obviously don't watch MMA. Size doesn't matter, bro. If you're 6'7" pussy and you're fighting against a dude that's 5'9", that's a fucking psychopath, the 5'9" guy wins. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Punctured lungs, fucking broken noses. Like, come on, man. Well, this is turning into a fucking disaster. 84-78. Unbelievable. So the Bulls did choke. So I lose the $50. Fuck me. It's only 50, but I don't want to give this shit away, man. I did well with the Super Bowl last night. And it doesn't look like the Clippers going to cover. Now this game, the Clipper game is slowed down too. Fuck. Yeah, the weed is better in Canada. I'll give you that, Johnny Cash. Now, Pac-Man Jones is a punk. Fuck. Pac-Man Jones needs a gun. Pac-Man Jones, thanks, Brett. Pac-Man Jones needs a fucking gun. Come on, Lou Williams. Oh, shitty pass, bro. Sloppy. Good stuff, Tommy C. It's funny, I brought up Greg Schiano earlier in the night. Remember, Greg Schiano was going to get the job in Tennessee, but he basically got shut down. Due to the fact that they thought that he covered shit up with Penn State. And I don't know, man. Like, suddenly people in Tennessee had morals. But speaking of no morals, looks like the New England Patriots going to hire Greg Schiano as their new defensive coordinator. Because why not? Because, hey, why not? That's the thing with the New England Patriots. They really are just a classless organization. And it's always bothered me, too, when yeah, D'Angelo Williams is a good wrestler, actually. He was good. Like, he's a natural for that shit. You know, people say to me often, Morency, you don't like the Patriots because they beat the Bills and blah, blah, blah. No, it had nothing to do with it. Like I said, the Golden State Warriors are a great franchise. They win. I don't hate the Warriors. The Warriors are good guys. You know what I mean? The Warriors aren't dicks. Like, the New England Patriots are just dicks. They just are. You know, Rob Gronkowski, cheap shot Trey White on the Bills, never apologizes, acts all, I don't know. He's just an idiot. He's classless. Then you see Tom Brady last night. Doesn't shake Nick Foles' hand. Now, for the record, other Philadelphia Eagle players said that he did shake their hand. And Brady couldn't find Foles after. Yet he didn't really look too hard. And Brady also, coincidentally, never found Eli Manning either. And there's pictures. Somebody sent pictures out tonight. Brady has shooken hands with the other quarterback after every Patriots win, but not losses. So, like I said, I tweeted out, I just want to tweet out the other side of the story that Fletcher Cox said, no, he shook my hand on the way off the field. Derek Barnett, the rookie, said that Brady came up to him in the hallway. It's actually a picture. But people, look, Cam Newton loses the Super Bowl. Media ask him stupid questions, and the Denver Broncos are 10 feet away trolling Cam, talking shit to him after the game. And Cam Newton says, fuck this, and walks away, and everyone hates on him. Tom Brady doesn't shake hands. He's a fucking, that's the thing with the Patriots. I never heard Brady. I watched his press conference after last night, too. It was all about him. It was all about the Patriots. He never really said anything nice about the Eagles. It was all, we didn't do this, we didn't do that. It was just basically, he's just a dick. But if he wins, then he's all smiling, right? Same with Belichick. He's just, they're assholes. Oh, that's just the way Belichick is. What, rude to everyone all the time? And it's accepted? I don't accept it. Whatever. I don't give a shit, Belichick. Yeah, you're a good football coach. You're a bad person. You're a bad person, and I like watching you lose. Gronkowski, you're a stupid fucking jock with an IQ of about fucking 9. And watching you and your stupid, crooked, ugly-looking face yesterday, looking all dumbfounded after, I think it took Gronkowski a couple of minutes to realize they lost because I don't think he's smart enough to read the scoreboard. Somebody probably had to tell him. Did we win? Sorry, Gronk, we lost. Oh, fuck. I wasn't sure of the score. Yeah, Gronk didn't know. Do we win? I don't know, man. Craziest thing ever. You see him after on the Hail Mary, he's like, where's the penalty? Yeah, fuck off, Gronk. Go back to drinking Bud Lights and acting like a frat boy, for the rest of the offseason. Yeah, fucking classless. The Patriots are just a classless organization. No, we didn't go to the Del Rey, Johnny Cash. No crazy, sleazy chick stories. LA Clippers are really fucking me good right now. That's what they're doing. 91-85. I need some fucking points here. I like this story here I see, too. Who is starstruck?
It has gone a final.
I love the, who's starstruck about Giselle? Who wrote this? Dan Wetzel. Is Dan Wetzel a Boston guy or something? Giselle, walking back a hallway to leave the stadium, took time to personally congratulate every Eagle she ran into. They looked starstruck. I didn't see one comment of one Eagle player say, "Oh, that was cool meeting Giselle." Yeah, I'm sure the Eagles were all starstruck. Fuck. Like, I bet you half the Eagles didn't even know who the fuck she was, bro. Like, oh yeah, I'm sure the Eagles were starstruck. Oh my God, we saw Giselle in the hallway. It's just funny. Like, I don't see one quote from anyone on the Philadelphia Eagles saying that it was cool meeting Giselle. Yeah, Dan Wetzel says they look. No, Dan, you're starstruck. Probably had a little pre-com in your fucking jeans there. Oh, Giselle and Tom Brady. Oh, everyone's starstruck to be around him. Yeah, I'm sure the Eagles are starstruck, fuck, to be around Brady's wife. Fuck. Yeah. Oh my God, it's just. Who is Dan? Where are you from, Dan Wetzel? Starstruck. I laughed so hard when I saw that last night. It's just funny. Like, I don't know. Like, who said they were starstruck? I don't know. Like, I just see one Philadelphia Eagle player say, "Oh, fuck, it was wicked meeting Giselle. I'm a big fan of hers." Giselle hasn't been relevant in the modeling industry in forever. Like, next to her being Tom Brady's fucking wife, I don't think one guy in the Philadelphia Eagles would even know who the fuck she is. You think Jay Ajayi knows who Giselle Bundchen is? They know who fucking hot Instagram models are with fat asses and big asses and shit. You know what I mean? I think there's a better chance of fucking the Patriots, the Eagles knowing who Taylor Stevens is, fuck, than fucking. Like, if you ask, like, the Eagles, you know who Jenna Jameson is? They'd be like, yeah. Have you ever heard of fucking Lisa Ann? Yes. Giselle Bundchen, Tom Brady's wife? She's Tom Brady's wife to us in America. She's a big star in Europe and shit, but I'd rather fuck any Philadelphia Eagle cheerleader than Giselle. Yeah, she's richer than Brady. Of course he did all in. Of course he did. See? I told you. I knew that the Wetzel had to be a connection to fucking Boston. Because only an ass-kissing fucking writer would say something like that after. The thing is, though, Wetzel, you don't have it in your story, though. Which player was starstruck? Which player on the Eagles was starstruck? You just said the Eagles were starstruck. Which one? Like, you're a writer. Journalism. Which players were starstruck? I'd like to know. I'd like to know. Like, what? One of them might have looked at her ass? Like, what? Like, yeah, oh, I'm sure the Eagle players all came out of the room. Oh, my God, Giselle. No, Dan. You are starstruck. You are starstruck. I sincerely doubt that Nick Foles was starstruck. I'm sure LeGarrette Blunt's starstruck, I'm sure. LeGarrette Blunt was on the Patriots. You think LeGarrette Blunt gets like, so let's go down the list here. So who was starstruck? Yeah, would LeGarrette Blunt be starstruck? LeGarrette Blunt played on the Patriots. Yeah, so I'm sure LeGarrette Blunt was starstruck. Who was starstruck? I'd really like to know. I don't know. I figured since you're a professional writer, you would actually put who was starstruck in your column. But just a generalization. Eagle player starstruck. No, I think you're starstruck, Dan. Fan fuck. Yeah. You're right. I don't think the water boy would give a shit. I know. Nick Foles is studying to become a preacher. I'm sure he was starstruck and meeting some model fuck. And how many Eagle players met her? Like this, I knew that Dan Wetzel. I could just tell by the piece. I was like, "Where is this guy? Were you fucking sucking up the Brady here? What's your deal?" Yeah, racism not tolerated here, even if it's targeted towards white people. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, I don't know why that bothered me so much, but that starstruck thing really got me going. That starstruck thing, when I saw that, I was like, what do you mean star? Like, I saw this last night, actually. It's been bothering me all day. I'm like, what do you mean starstruck? Who's starstruck? Who's starstruck? It really bothers me, this one. I want to tweet Dan and say, what player was starstruck? Or were you starstruck? Fucking Clippers. You know, Dan Wetzel's usually a pretty good football writer, too. He should stick to football instead of talking away. Oh, here it is. He tweeted, Giselle walking back to leave the stadium. First off, who even tweets about Giselle walking in the back of the stadium? You're a professional football writer. Who gives a fuck? And is this supposed to be news that the quarterback's wife was in the tunnel after? I guarantee you. Look, fucking Danny Amendola's chick smokes Giselle. Maybe the Eagle players would be starstruck by her. Who's Danny Amendola's girlfriend? Even when I saw her, I was like, holy shit, fuck, this guy's fucking rocking. Like Danny Amendola's got like some Instagram fucking chick or something like that's over the top. Like when you see, look at Danny Amendola's girlfriend. Just punch in Amendola's girlfriend. You're like, holy shit, fuck, how do you get hurt? But like I said, after the Super Bowl, who even writes that? Giselle, walking a back hallway to leave the stadium, took time to personally congratulate every Eagle player she ran into. They looked starstruck. I'd like to know how many Eagle players they ran into and who looked starstruck. I love, too, Dan Wetzel doesn't have anything about Brady not shaking anyone's hand or anything. Yeah, I'm ready for some baseball. Baseball's around the corner. Yeah, sure, I'll smoke with you there, Timor. All right, Olivia Culpo. Who's she? Let's look at her. I don't even know what she does. Olivia Culpo. She's Miss Universe. Fuck. She was Miss USA and Miss Universe. She was Miss Rhode Island. Like, that's the thing. I mean, listen, Giselle is a supermodel and she's happening and shit. Like you guys, I agree with you. It's not my thing, but Giselle's not even the hottest fucking like wife in the NFL, man. Like, it's not even like. Will the Philadelphia Phillies win the World Series? No. Yeah, good call. They're never in contention, Rhode Island. Yeah, good call, tennis boys. I want to bring up Bradley Cooper, actually, because Bradley Cooper's a big-time Eagle fan, right? So I'm just wondering, did Bradley Cooper go out and start smashing things yesterday, or did Bradley Cooper smash like a fucking bottle of champagne, hang out with some hot chicks? You know what I mean? Like, Bradley Cooper is a big-time Eagle fan. Guy loves the Eagles. Made a movie about it. Did Bradley Cooper go out and start smashing things yesterday? That's what I'm saying, guys. It's just one chick, this chick, Amendola's wife. So, like, it's funny. I don't know, guys. Listen, I've been around pro sports. I've been in the tunnels and shit like that. There's a lot of hot chicks there, guys, right? I have a thing for Hispanic chicks and shit. And it was nuts, fuck, at the expos, because they all had these fucking Dominican chicks and fucking Venezuelan girlfriends and shit. They were all smoking, fuck. No, Big Man didn't smash anything. I saw Big Man's video, actually. It was pretty funny. He goes, I just want to run. I don't know why he wanted to run, but he wanted to run. Jake Tapper. CNN host Jake Tapper, big Eagles fan, too. He was there. Yeah, his video. He was so nervous. That was good. Yeah, the video, Big Man's video was funny. You can tell how much he loves them. He was so nervous. And, you know, that was a nice, wholesome, good video. Big Man did. That was good shit. It pissed me off about this game is the fucking Clippers were winning most of the night. Fuck. Gallinari for 3. They needed that. 101, 100. But I laid the points, man. Maybe we got to go to overtime or fuck me. Oh, that is pretty cool. I didn't know that. That was Jerome Brown's birthday. Good call, Brett Patterson. I didn't know that. Yeah, exactly, Alex. To be honest, when I saw Big Man's video, I was like, man, it's pretty. It was very wholesome and like genuine. And the game totally slowed down. Fucking bad bets. Fuck, I hate giving this shit back. Talking about being disciplined, I jump in on this bullshit. What up, Russell? I'm all right, man. No complaints. Got back safely from Costa Rica. Great time. The Bills are a couple of years away, Alex. The Bills were a playoff team this year, barely. I expect them to be better next year and be a playoff team next year. You got to settle down, Shiloh. Captain Lord, Jesus Christ is coming back soon. Live right, repent your sins. Forget those who have wronged you, and remember God loves you. See, Captain Lord, I like where you're going with all of that, except repent for your sins. You can love Jesus, forget people who wrong you, and remember God loves you without beating yourself up over your mistakes that you made. That's where you went wrong there. And if you're trying to get people into religion here, don't tell them they need to repent, bro. That's just going to scare them away. That's my advice. My advice back to you, Captain Lord. Yeah, I don't like giving this shit back to you, trust me. I was on a roll. I didn't really like. I liked the Clippers a bit. I just thought the Mavericks were shit. But evidently, the Clippers are worse. Fuck. Fucking pathetic. Fuck. Whatever. The Clippers will probably win this game by 1 point or something. Maybe we'll get lucky. It'll go to overtime. All right. Well, I guess Drew was right. Druzilla. I said I'm only into 2 hours tomorrow. And Drew's like, I'll take the over on that. Actually, you know what, Russell? I was going to say that they shouldn't be playing tonight, but it's true. I think the Australian basketball playoffs start or have started. No, it's not tonight. The Breakers play on Thursday night. They're getting 5 points at Melbourne. I guess these are the playoffs. So I guess it starts this week, the playoffs. The 76ers are not next up, although I will tell you, Happy Life, I would not be surprised if Villanova wins the tournament. Look at these guys. It's unbelievable. It's been stuck on 101. I know. I know, Shano. It's been stuck on 101 for the last 2 minutes, this game. Yeah, the fucking Clippers are going to win on the fucking money line. $101 with 24 seconds remaining. Rick Caldwell calls timeout. Fasten your seatbelts so we come back.
All right, so not exactly great basketball in the last couple of possessions. A lot of things happened there. First of all, Gallinari, let's start with that. dribbling in that sense, in that spot. Lou Williams gives him the ball in that one-on-one.
Well, I think you try to get too creative. I think, Sam, for a guy like that, Nino Gallinari, you just got to drive it extremely hard. Guy cut you off, have a counter move. But I think for him is not understanding. And then, Sam, this rookie mistake like Dennis Smith Jr. I believe not only is it a bad foul, he fouls out. You don't have him at the end of the game. And you learn. This was just a tough shot that he missed. And the Mavericks, I don't know why he was rushing. Pull it out. You try to run some more.
You got a 1-point lead. You pull the ball out, especially if you're trying to do something that you're not comfortable doing. And then Dennis Smith playing, he understands. It's a bonehead play, a rookie play. And that's why, rookies struggle in the league. They make bonehead plays sometimes. And he'll learn from it. He's got a good coach in Rick Carlisle. He'll point it out like he said. On top of it, then he fouls out again. At least a 6 foul.
And he has to be just a rookie wall right now. February, his legs are getting low.
But you never let a team beat your free foul. He's not on a backcourt foul.
And the ball stolen from him as well. Wonder where it goes. Maybe Wesley Matthews.
Well, for me, I
Dirk
got to ask Dirk in the game just because we can stretch the floor and create some offense. He's out there. I hope he's out there. Dirk has to be out there.
All right, here you go. Dirk's not out there.
JJ.
Jump ball be taken. Measuring has been a factor in the offensive line.
Why would the Dallas Mavericks wait so long to shoot? Fuck, you're stupid.
Jordan and Mesri. Boy with the top. Without the foul line.
You're going to win by 3. Fuck me.
What's this? Wanted hard by DeAndre. Great recognition for DeAndre to know that he can hit it down there. He got 4 seconds on the clock.
That was a good play by DeAndre Jordan, man.
All right, a couple of things happened there. First of all, you guys were talking about dribble the ball out. The basket doesn't mean anything. You got 0.7 seconds left, right?
Well, just get recognition. If you're Avery Bradley, obviously you look up at the clock right now. You should have the internal clock. You understand? I dribble that towards the sideline and maybe go to the clock and out there.
Because J.J. Barrera kind of put on the play. He realized he couldn't do anything to stop the basket. He pulls up. So if you break it off and start dribbling, game over. Remember Magic in the playoffs? The ball for the goal, he dribbled out and he just throws it.
Also, here's the play about DeAndre Jordan, David. When that jump ball jumped that high and be able to control it all the way out to Avery Bradley. That was a nice play.
Now, I don't know if they were worried because the name wasn't spelled right. But if you're going to take a 3 when you don't have to, don't you want Dirk to do it?
I mean,
why is he not in the
more in the game? Maybe I want him in the game, but maybe Rick Carlisle want to have these young guys. But I'm with Sam, no matter what, you're only down 1. Old school, you got to drive that basketball. And yes, if I kick you a wide open shot, but I don't think I'm running a play.
It's going to be Matthews, not Yogi, right? If you're going to do that.
It could be anybody.
They don't even have Dirk Nowitzki on the fucking floor. Hit the 3. Need a miracle. Oh, fuck off.
And I'm so happy to say, Mulder's law has been broken. Sometimes it's good to break the law.
I actually laid 5. But I could fucking foul him with 0.2 here. I got a chance, but that ain't going to happen.
We're going to get a very hard-earned victory. We're not going to go home and think, boy, that was easy. But that was Mavericks, a tough loss for them. They'll spend the night here in Los Angeles. Flying north tomorrow. They don't play again until Thursday against the Golden State Warriors. Man, oh man. The Clippers were down by 9, 94 to 85. And it just goes to show you that
Fuck, I thought they got called for a foul there at the end, 3 fouls, but no. See, even look at Giselle on she got congratulations, Eagles, for winning the Super Bowl. What a game. Congratulations, Paige, for giving your best to my love, blah, 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 blah. She's got more class than her fucking husband does. Why is J.J. Barrera hanging out with Doc Rivers and joking it up now? Why are you talking to the guy in the Mavericks, Doc? Like, fuck, man. It's the problem with the NBA. Like, J.J. Barrera doesn't give a shit. You just quit on the play, too, J.J. But, Doc, hey, thanks for quitting on that play. Yeah, that was the best already. I retweeted that. Bridget Monahan said, what a game by Nick Foles. Yeah, she wasn't classy. Was she playing Wells Walker in the past? Whatever, man. The Patriots have another year probably in them. They have another year left. The chicks are very pretty in Costa Rica. Holy fuck, they took a long time to decide this for a fucking stupid fucking inbounds here for 2-4. Man. Fuck, that's frustrating. I hate losing. What do we got tomorrow? Cleveland at Orlando. Cleveland -7. Houston Rockets -10.5 at Brooklyn. Grizzlies and Hawks. Oh, the big game tomorrow night is a good one, actually. Oklahoma City at Golden State. Oklahoma City getting 10, total 230. Washington Wizards and the Philadelphia 76ers. Sixers laying 6 tomorrow night. College ball tomorrow night. Xavier and Butler. Butler -3. Butler a good home team. Michigan's laying 1.5 on the road at Northwestern. Total's 129. We should be able to hit that over. Tennessee, Kentucky only -2. Almost feels like a sucker trap or something, but no foul. 104-101 final score. I like Butler in that game, conference premium. I'm leaning Butler. I got to do some capping, but I'm leaning Butler. Yeah, it's crazy, Joe. If you remember Joseph Kim, the Wizards had big team meetings, and John Wall said that it got worse. And I don't know, maybe, it's crazy, but they are playing better without John Wall right now. All right, so we appreciate everybody tuning in here this evening. Tomorrow night, see if we get Big Man or Donnie on. Donnie's probably just getting home now. It's a long day. Donnie left a little later than I did, and he did not have a direct flight. I know, fuck. My bad. I shouldn't even have given the Clippers, fuck. It was the only game on. Fuck. I would have preferred to money line it, but it was too high to money line. I'm not doing a -250, fuck. If it was -200 or something, I would have done the money line, but I hate laying 5 and 6 points in games, guys. I never win when I lay points like that. And I told you too, the best bet in the NBA this year, it's cashing at nearly a 54% clip, are road dogs. That has been the best blind bet in the NBA this year. Road underdogs with the points. Oh, you're smart to take the money line. Grinch, you're smart to take the money line. I don't mind money lines. It's like investing. Fuck, you build your account, you build your account. But it is what it is. We'll see you guys tomorrow night, 10 o'clock Eastern, right here on the SBR YouTube page. Give us a thumbs up on the way out. And remember, even more importantly, you guys all bet. So remember to go over to sportsbookreview.com, pick out one of the books that are on the front page there, and find out the books that write for you, get your bonus, and everybody wins. See you later, Tommy C, Mighty Motive, Grinch, Jake, Jose, Crawford, Alex, Joseph, Kim, Drew Zilla, Scott Martinez. Yeah, I'm leaning Kentucky tomorrow. And everyone else's name we don't see in the chat right now. You guys rock. Thanks for tuning in. Good to be back from Costa Rica. And now tomorrow we'll put our game face on and beat the book tomorrow night again. I didn't plan on betting on this shit and I lost. Fuck. It's not being disciplined. I'm going to be disciplined from here on out. Other than that, yeah, Avianca Airlines was good. Fuck. No complaints about Avianca. See you later, Rice, Grinch, Crawford, Eli. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you tomorrow night. Later.